Formula 10 gin. The Distillery Bar is out of this world. If you haven't been down there, what are you waiting for? Anytime you go downtown for a sporting event, some type of entertainment, maybe a concert, comedy show, whatever the case may be, make sure to stop by Old Dominick Distillery, pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. Grab one of their award-winning craft spirits. Maybe swing by for a pregame cocktail or a nightcap. 150 years in the making, starting with the Canali family's arrival in Memphis. But the revival began in 2017 when the doors opened to the public. You can find out more at olddominick.com. As I mentioned, busy weekend, lots of different things that took place, including Game 7, Cleveland-Detroit, which was not much of a game as the Cavaliers roll the Pistons in Detroit, and now the conference finals are all set. We have our final four teams. We will talk about that on the program today. The MVP is announced, not officially, but the word got out pretty quickly by Shams Charania, and he's taken some hits for that, but SGA repeats. We'll discuss that on the program, and also the latest as far as the mock trades concerning one Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies. The PGA Championship was cluttered, but it ends up being a runaway in the end by one Aaron Rye. We'll discuss that on the program. College baseball, big week, conference tournaments going on all over the place. Matt Reiser will join us at 9:05 as the Memphis Tigers are headed to Clearwater for the American Conference Tournament. Also, plenty of NFL news, including news on Aaron Rodgers. The Memphis Tigers have added a kicker to their roster, and lots of other things happening. We'll take your calls and texts as well on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Fantastic.
There were a lot of people in Memphis over the weekend for a couple of different events. Just happened to be pretty much in the same area at Liberty Park. As we've talked about, the World Championship Barbecue competition was going on. I know you paid a visit over there. So you had that going on. And you had the huge EYBL event that went on over at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Also, construction going on with the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. And yet everything I heard was absolutely positive. There were so many big-name coaches that were in town. It wouldn't have just been a little bit nicer if whatever is going on with Liberty Park followed through and they would have had a hotel built and restaurants built and all the other things that we were promised in one of the typical projects that we hear about in Memphis that always fall to the wayside. What is going on with that? I don't know. All I know is it really would have been cool for all those players that were there and coaches and people in the barbecue competition. Now, there probably wouldn't be enough rooms, but at least that hotel would be filled and you'd have a lot of money coming into the local economy. Now, people still had to go eat. They still had to stay somewhere, so that Memphis economy blossomed over the weekend. But nevertheless, my chance to get on my soapbox about Liberty Park. But as far as the tournament, great. Barbecue competition, great. And just an all-around great weekend weather-wise. Jay Ham, how was your weekend?
Very quiet in the way that I wanted it to be.
Yes?
Got some rest. Just
There you
cool
go.
out a little bit.
Yeah, I watched a lot of golf and some basketball yesterday, and unfortunately Friday took a tumble. I'm a little worse for the wear today. When you're as old as I am, you don't want to be falling too many times, but that was the case. You may have watched the MMA event with Rousey and Carano, but if you blinked, you missed out on that one.
I think I slept through those 10 seconds.
Oh, my gosh. Absolutely incredible. Rousey, 39. Gina Carano, who looks fantastic, lost 100 pounds, 44 years old. Let's be honest. 39-year-old woman, 44-year-old woman. I don't know if I particularly care to watch that, and I'm glad I didn't because I didn't miss anything. 17 seconds, arm bar from Ronda Rousey. It's over. Luckily, there were other fights on the card.
Yeah, I did watch it, saw it, and that was a very, very quick little. It felt like watching a Mike Tyson fight. It was over before it started, basically. But it was you mentioned the barbecue fest. What great time out there! It's kind of cool to see Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium with the, getting closer and closer to being finished, and just the kind of much more modern look from the outside of it that's there. But had a great time out there Friday night, all kinds of people. Again, the weather was absolutely spectacular for that. And Saturday was a great day. Yesterday was all excited for a great day with the final round of the PGA Championship, looking like it was going to be awesome. The Game 7 last night, and then last night, then it just all turned into a blah. Yesterday just was blah. It was had such potential and just turned into such a disaster.
Yeah, it was a dud of a day, sports-wise. Obviously, huge events that we thought would be dramatic, and they were not. We'll talk NBA in just a second, and later on, we'll get into the PGA Championship. But again, I hope everybody had a great weekend. And I don't know if you saw the video and the photos of the event over at the Memphis Sports and Events Center, but it was a who's who with the coaches. And then you saw, depending on who you follow on social media, some of the coaches that were downtown. I saw Dusty May and his sons that were down there at Silky's. It's just really cool. And so far, knock on wood, I haven't heard anything negative. Seems like it was a very positive experience. Nothing went wrong. Nothing went awry. And they watched some great young talent on the EYBL circuit. That's the Nike circuit, including the Team Thad teams from here in Memphis, but many, many other teams. Great players from around the country. And everybody from Dusty May to John Calipari to Dan Hurley, on and on and on, were there for that event. So, again, Memphis was the showplace for the next group of great college players, and then some of them will go on to play professionally, many in the NBA. And we've had that for years and years now with this event. I don't know if people remember Cooper Flagg played in this event. It is a great event that they put on, that they bring to Memphis, and hopefully that'll continue. But again, not to dwell too much, again, it would be really cool to have Liberty Park completed for these events that we have, and to have the great barbecue fest there. That was fantastic as well. We're going to pay for it this week, it looks like, with rain, but last week and into the weekend, just absolutely sensational. Well, you mentioned a dud of a day yesterday in the world of sports. I don't understand how this happens. I really, and I've said it before many times in sports, but I still don't get it. On Friday, the Detroit Pistons, in a must-win game, go into Cleveland after Cleveland had just beaten them in Detroit and beat down the Cavaliers by 21. Beat them down. Jalen Duren had one of his better games in the postseason. 15 points, 11 rebounds. Cade Cunningham did his thing. They beat them by 21 points. So advantage Detroit for several reasons, going back to Detroit for Game 7 on Sunday, right? They win easily. So they're in a groove. They're back home. And they lay an ultimate egg. They lose by 31 points to the Cavaliers. They shoot 35% from the field. You give Cleveland all the praise in the world. You give Dan Gilbert praise. He brought, 25 busloads of fans? Which says an awful lot about Detroit. You can't fill that arena. All these Cleveland fans are buying the tickets. But nevertheless, there's no reason why Cleveland shouldn't have been competitive in a Game 7 at home. And James Harden didn't have a great game for Cleveland in Game 7, which is usually the case. And they still won by 31 points. Explain that to me.
Yeah, it's, I don't know what, I don't know if Detroit ran out of gas or what, but they just looked like they were like a step slow all night. That was one of the weirder things, just it was everybody. I mean, Cunningham couldn't make a shot. Duren was struggling. They tried Stewart. No matter who came in the game, just kind of looked like they were slow and really not into it. I don't know. You think of Game 7 on your home floor. That's one of the ultimate effort type things. And there was not anybody. I mean, Tobias Harris doesn't make a single field goal. That was a strange thing to watch. And you could tell early on that they just did not have it, and it was never going to happen for Detroit.
I mean, when Marcus Sasser ties for the second most field goal attempts for the Pistons, something's off. Tobias Harris was 0 for 6. Asar Thompson, who's not a great offensive player anyway, was 2 of 7. JM, explain that effort to me.
Okay. Friday night, what we saw was a Detroit Pistons team have guys show up that hadn't showed up all postseason and played outstanding. And when we get to Sunday, they had no more legs. When you can't play basketball if you don't have legs. You're not making shots if your legs are dead. They've gone through 2 7-game series where the basketball and playoff stress took its toll.
Okay, so explain to me how Detroit all season long kicked tail and finished as the number 1 seed in the East with the same players. How did they do it? Smoke and mirrors?
Because they didn't have to go through 2 7-game series within 2-week stretches of the season, dealing with the same people, enhanced scouting report, and the matchup that they had to deal with wasn't necessarily favorable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between regular season and postseason
Sure.
to begin with.
Sure, I wunderstand.
Again, I don't, we went in talking about the fact I don't know that anybody really expected Detroit to win the East, like come out of there, because you've got to learn these things, and they just don't have enough offense.
Yeah, their deficiencies were brought out.
Cade Cunningham, especially if Cade Cunningham has a bad game like last night, they have no chance.
Yeah.
But Jalen Duren was, he did have the good game Friday night, but he was exposed badly in this postseason. I mean, then last night, with Jared Allen, and Mobley just absolutely dominated. It didn't matter who Detroit brought into the game. Those two guys, they had no answers for them whatsoever.
He was a descendant of Will Chamberlain.
Well, that's why you and I picked Cleveland. We picked Cleveland. JM had Detroit. We picked Cleveland, and I thought because of the Allen-Mobley combination that would be too much for Duren.
That determined the series in the last 3 games. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in Game 5 and Game 7.
Right.
And those 2 games in Detroit were fantastic in both of those. And on the flip, the Detroit others were great in Game 6. So the 5, 6, and 7 came down to the others.
Yes. Yes.
That's the part that, to have that type of effort in Game 6. And then, literally, it was the exact opposite last night. And,
it was.
For the road team to be as dominant as they were in those 2 games, I can understand maybe running out of gas a little bit, but if you were able to do that in Game 6, I don't know how you can look that bad in Game 7 if you're Detroit.
They mentally ran out of gas, too.
Again,
their playoff stress got to be very real on Detroit.
That's a good point. 35% field goal shooting, though. That's incredible. And then for Cleveland, you got a guy like Sam Merrill that stepped up. He was big, 23 points in 25 minutes, hit 7 of 10 from the field, 5 of 8 from 3. So they get that production off the bench. Donovan Mitchell was great pretty much every game. I think there was one game he was a little bit off, but 26 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds for their leader. Like I said, Harden, Game 7, as you know, Eli, doesn't usually come through. He was held to 9 points on 2 of 10 shooting, 6 assists, though, 5 rebounds. But they didn't need him because of the Mobley-Allen combination. Those 2 guys combined for 44 points, for goodness sakes. 19 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. They were the difference. And now they go into their best of 7 Eastern Conference final against the Knicks, which has, of course, Karl Anthony Towns. Mitchell Robinson will play. He's a big. I'm just trying to think of the bigs for the Knicks where Cleveland could have an advantage with Mobley and Allen. And we'll talk about a lot more about this tomorrow because the series will start tomorrow, but just a quick thought on that.
I think we're going to see a lot of canceling out in that, and the health and availability of OG Anunoby is going to be a very big key in this one.
And right now we're not sure. But we are sure about this. The San Antonio Spurs blew out the Minnesota Timberwolves on Friday, 139-109, and they will begin the Western Conference Finals tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending NBA champions. It's the 2 teams that everybody expected to be in the Western Conference Final. The Thunder, a 6.5-point favorite tonight. Do you know, Eli, off the top of your head, or maybe you have it written down, what they are as far as a favorite for the series, the Thunder?
I think it's. I'm not sure. I saw, but I don't remember what it said.
Okay, if you see that, let me know. I'm just curious. But Oklahoma City tonight, 6.5-point favorite. But the Spurs took care of business, wasted no time, went into Minnesota Game 6. Wasn't going to be no Game 7. They made sure of that, and they win by 30. Stephon Castle with 32. If Castle's doing his thing, and then the God, why do
minus 260.
Minus 260. Wow, not a surprise though. The kid from Rutgers again that comes off the bench,
Dylan Harper.
Harper does his thing, right? And whatever you get from Fox is a bonus. And then of course Wembanyama. I mean, wow, that's great. But here's the news: Jalen Williams is available. That's the All-Star Jalen Williams, who missed the entire last series. He's available for Game 1 of this series, and hopefully for the Thunder's sake, the entire series, although they may not need him. And De'Aaron Fox is questionable with an ankle. Luke Cornett is questionable with a left foot injury. So already the Spurs may be a little shorthanded, and Oklahoma City full arsenal. I mean, really? But the Spurs, give them credit. They turned that organization around with a couple of really good draft picks. And when you get a freak like Wembanyama, you're going to go right to the top. But to knock off the Thunder, that's going to take a Herculean effort.
Yeah, especially with getting Jalen Williams back, as you said. I mean, it's just another added bonus for them. It's there's the guard play in this could be fantastic. I mean, you've got some, obviously the Spurs got some really good guards. You've got a lot of really good defensive guards, obviously for Oklahoma City. It'll be interesting to see tonight. People will look at both of these series, kind of the rest versus rust type issue. And, Van Gundy talked about it last night that he thought maybe the Cavaliers and Spurs would have a good chance to steal Game 1s because they're in rhythm where these other teams have had to sit there and wait. But Oklahoma City's just really hard to beat. They get the depth and everything else, what they can do defensively. It's going to take. Obviously, the Spurs had a lot of success against them in the regular season, but this is a different ball game. You got a team coming off a championship with another team just finally getting their feet wet when it comes to postseason basketball, and obviously, pretty much all these guys playing in their first conference finals on the Spurs side of things. It's a difficult task. Wembanyama is going to have to be absolutely amazing for them to have a chance in this series.
For Minnesota, with their season coming to an end, now the question is, what do they need to make an even better run, stronger run next year? Obviously, they're a very good team. Mike Conley announcing, who is a free agent, that he does not plan on retiring. He plans to play at least another year. A veteran backup point guard for a team that needs somebody like that. I know Grizzlies fans are going crazy thinking, Mike Conley and the Grizzlies a reunion, but to me it doesn't make any sense. You would think that Mike Conley wants to go to a contender in his final year or 2 years. But from a Minnesota standpoint, Jay Ham, what do they need?
I think the glaring thing that the people up there are looking at is like, we got to do something about Julius Randle, because it was a fall, from his regular season to what we saw in the postseason, and he struggled mightily. And so much of that is really not his fault. I think it's just they missed in how they wanted to address the personnel with that, when they swapped him out for Cat and the whole deal, and had a good chance for it for a season or two, but have to be able to improve that,
It seems like with every team that gets knocked out, a rumor about Ja Morant surfaces. And there was one over the weekend involving Minnesota. NBA writer Jake Weinbach had a trade proposal where the Timberwolves would acquire Ja Morant from the Grizzlies. They would give up the aforementioned Julius Randle, who's got 2 years left on his contract at 33.3 and then 35.8. And the expiring contract of Dante DiVincenzo, who unfortunately for Minnesota was hurt. I guess there's other things. There's also a first-round pick that the Grizzlies would have to give up, not this year, but in 2029. Does that do anything for you?
Well, they want to send us the damaged player, man.
damaged
Like,
players. I mean, some of these trades are the Grizzlies, not we. The Grizzlies drop down in the draft and get like the worst part of the deals. I don't know. I guess they're all bought into that the Grizzlies are going to get fleeced over this deal because nobody wants Ja and his values dropped. I guess that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't do anything for me. And how does that help out? How does that help out Minnesota? Anthony Edwards needs the ball in his hands, and so does Ja.
It doesn't help us. I'm looking at a dude that's making $35 million and a dude that's got a torn Achilles.
Right, right.
I mean, Minnesota's just in a bad spot because they are paying everybody, and they haven't. You know, they've got to the conference final. They've made runs, but now once you are in a position where you are paying everybody. I mean, Edwards has his big deal. You're paying Gobert. You're paying Julius Randle. You've already paid Jaden McDaniels. You're paying Naz Reid. Like they had their chance before all of these guys came up a couple of years ago. Now, once you're paying everybody, it's really hard. It's hard to acquire guys. It's hard to do anything when you are in cap hell, and that's where Minnesota is. They're in a tough spot.
In hindsight, was the Randle Cat trade, bad trade for Minnesota?
I would say in hindsight, especially because the financial structure of the NBA changed after that. Where now we're looking at it where really I think a lot of teams are going to get busted up like what happened here in Memphis. Pretty much like Eli mentioned this before. We can't pay 3 max guys. You're going to have a lot of teams that have 3 max contracts that aren't in position to win. They're going to bust their team up because they can't do it, and they know they can't win doing it.
Look, they put a lot of faith in acquiring Rudy Gobert. Gobert did some good things. Minnesota was in a pretty good position, but you're right. If you're going to go ahead and pay those guys, you take it. At least they're taking a shot at it, and it's going to come up short to win it all. But it still was a very good season for Minnesota.
I think what we saw with them Friday night was like Gobert and Randall had like a combined 3 rebounds or something crazy like that.
Well, because the Ant trade, Cat trade, they saved money, like because he was making 50. They were trying to, that alleviated some of their cap hell. I still go back to the Gobert thing. You had Walker Kessler. You had Rudy Gobert, only way cheaper.
Cheaper.
Like a 9th or 10th of the price that you're paying. You could have had Walker Kessler at $4 million this year and said you had Rudy Gobert at $36 million this year.
He's just not sexy, Walker Kessler. Gobert, the big Frenchman. It's sexy, we're going to pay him all the money.
I mean, if you took his $30 million off, if you took $30 million off the books for Gobert and replaced it with Walker Kessler, it allows you to do other things.
Yeah.
And obviously the DiVincenzo injury doesn't help. They weren't beating San Antonio anyway. And that's the problem in the West. We may see Oklahoma City and San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals for the next, I don't know how long. I mean, you look at both these teams and the age of their guys and try and figure out how you're going to catch up with them because they're only going to, generally they're going to get better.
Their basketball aligns with the business.
Yeah.
It aligns perfect with the business for them to make that run.
Intelligent moves by the front office, but what are you going to do? Wave the white flag if you're every other team? You got to figure out a way to.
But that's the point. They're in cap hell. You don't have. There's nothing you can do. Denver's screwed. Minnesota's screwed. They're already committed way over the cap. They're luxury tax-paying teams. Like you're in a position where you can't improve your team enough.
You know who's not in financial hell? The Grizzlies. They're not.
Yeah, but Grizzlies can't sign free agents, so it doesn't matter.
Not anymore because they moved those guys off. That's what I'm saying. It's like when the second apron started to come down, a lot of teams were already in cap hell, and then it made it even more hell with the second apron.
Yes, but that's why it's so pivotal for the Grizzlies to nail this draft and to make a shrewd trade for John Morant. You're not going to win the lottery with this trade, but you got to make a shrewd trade where maybe you get one from somebody. I'm not going to say take advantage of somebody because it's not going to happen. I mean, there's general managers on the other side that understand that you're trying to unload Ja, and they're not necessarily maybe in the market for him, but you can make a shrewd enough trade where it makes sense. You feel good about unloading him. I know some of the fans won't be happy, but certainly that's the goal right now of this organization. Anybody who thinks it's not, they're wrong. And then nail the draft. And if you do so, you've taken a couple of steps forward into getting into position with young players. And then you'll see, again, maybe Oklahoma City moves on from Hartenstein. Maybe they do. And then you go out there and maybe bring in a guy like that can help anchor your defense. Just some things that you can maybe turn it around quicker than a 3-year rebuild, because they really can't afford a 3-year rebuild in a small market, to be honest with you. Once again, hour number 1 of the program is brought to you by our friends at Old Dominick Distillery, 305 South Front Street, online at olddominick.com. On the website, they list all their whiskeys and spirits. They list all their signature cocktails, instructions on how you can make them at home using the Old Dominick spirit. So visit the website and also visit the distillery bar. Make a reservation to take the guided tour and taste some of the great products that they produce. And head on over there this Saturday, May 23rd. You're invited to Old Dominick's Crawfish Boil, rescheduled from April because of the weather. Rock out the music by the Risky Whiskey Boys. You can eat big, wash it all down with a craft cocktail or local beer at Old Dominick Distillery this Saturday, the 23rd. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Call us today.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good morning. A couple of accidents in their wrap-up stages. Heavier traffic volume developing over here now on 240, pretty much on schedule, coming past Walnut Grove as that volume of traffic on 385 gets a little bit heavier. Bill Morris Parkway, especially inbound on Bill Morris, getting on that ramp right there at 240 at Mount Moriah. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids with cancer, please do. Log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to win his second straight MVP award. It was, I guess, eventually announced, but the story was broken by who else? Shams Charania. And Blake Griffin was not real happy about that. Blake Griffin, his quote was, "Go to brunch, you nerd." He was not happy that he broke the story before the NBA made the official announcement. But that's what Shams does. That's what Woj did. Lots even people even before that were breaking stories. Peter Vesey and others years ago. How do you feel about that?
If they didn't want them to tell us, they would have told them not to tell us.
There was somebody on Twitter that thinks that Shams actually just screwed up the AM and PM, that he scheduled the tweet because he did it at 6:30 a.m. The announcement was at 6:30 p.m. And they think he just literally screwed up, like, and did that. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's the case or what. But because it wasn't really like they did it so early, but he like. They said he may have just screwed up AM and PM. That's what got it. So that's what screwed the whole thing. Because the announcement was supposed to be at 6:30. It was on Prime for the pregame show, 6:30 PM. And I guess the tweet came out at 6:30 AM, they said, or Central Time.
And Griffin works for Prime?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why they were, I mean, he said on the pregame, like they were the ones making the announcement. And he was joking when he said it. I mean, they were all joking.
No, of course, but still, I can understand where they're a little irate about that happening, even though it's tongue-in-cheek. It's like, come on, man, we're making this announcement. People are tuning in for this. Now they already know. Of course, most of us already thought SGA was going to win. I thought maybe there was an outside shot that Wemby could do so, but he did not win. He ended up finishing third. It was Jokic second, Wemby third, Luka fourth, and Cade Cunningham fifth. So
it really wasn't even close either. I thought it would be closer than.
So did I.
It was a very wide margin. I mean, it was 83 first place votes for SGA. Yeah, 83 first place votes. Jokic had 10. Like it's not. It wasn't even, not even close in any way.
So you saw a Canadian win for a second straight year. Serb finished second. Frenchman finished third. Croatian finished fourth. And then finally an American. And then we'll talk golf later on where it was a decorated international scoreboard at the PGA Championship. And I think it's great for sports. I know there are some that, I'm proud. I want the Americans to win. The red, white, and blue, but I'm not one of those fans where it's just like, it's got to be red, white, and blue or nothing. No, I want to see the best in the world compete. And we're seeing great athletes from all over the world in just about every single sport. The only sport that they haven't really been able to make any kind of mark is in the National Football League, with the exception of maybe the Australian rules punters, kickers. Those guys have certainly made their mark, but it's still a pure American sport for the most part, although, of course, Goodell and company are trying to make it more international, and they're doing a good job with that. But from a individual competitiveness standpoint, every single sport, you see the influx of the international athlete, and a lot of them have dominated. And in the NBA, a sport that was founded here in this country and dominated by people in this country for years, you're seeing that that's not necessarily the fact anymore. As once again, you get SGA winning the MVP. But as far as Shams is concerned, if he's getting the information from somebody reputable that he's going to go out there and say it, more power to him. It's breaking a story. But I'm just wondering who's telling him. Like, who tells him this information? I can't imagine somebody from the league tells him.
That's who I think it is.
You think it is? I think it's more the agent of the player.
Could be.
Why would the league do that? Especially when they want to have that announcement.
Because they never stopped Woj from doing it either.
No, they didn't, but that's why I still think it's agents. What do you think, Eli? I think he's getting the information from agents, not from the actual NBA offices.
Something like this, I think he probably got from the NBA themselves. I think.
You think so?
I think they probably wanted him to hold it. again, whether he just really screwed up A and PM, I don't know, whatever.
Well, you can imagine they gave it to him, and then they say, now, you screwed it up, you're not getting any more. That's it. So all of a sudden, Shams isn't breaking stories anymore. You're not getting anything. I still think it came from the agent.
Some text here on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255, 360-8255. Ron says the Pistons came out flat. They thought being at home they would win. Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't care if you have home court advantage or not. You still have to do more than just go through the motions, which is basically all they did is to go through the motions last night.
Yeah, but why would you think just because you're at home you're going to win? You lost at home in Game 5, and then you won on the road in Game 6. There was no guarantees they were coming back home to win. I just thought the effort would be actually, an effort.
Raider, of course, says Cade needs more consistent help. Changes must happen this offseason. Listen, again, a lot of people put like Detroit should have done more at the trade deadline. They were way too comfortable with this team. And there was a lot of things about it that got exposed in the postseason, but they did get some playoff experience, which you got to have. Cade figured some things out, I'm sure. And now they figure out, now they can make some decisions and who they want and don't want and all that going forward. But certainly what they got experience-wise was valuable. And what Cade Cunningham got was very valuable for playoff experience.
What about John Detroit?
Why they have Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, but Cade Cunningham's not exactly a point guard.
They got
it's like a point forward.
They got Marcus Sasser.
Cade Cunningham literally is a point guard.
Yeah, he is.
He is the point guard.
Well, I know he has the ball in his
played his whole life.
He's just 6'8". He's just 6'8". He takes a lot of chances and has some turnovers. But you know what? Magic had a lot of turnovers too at 6'8".
Yeah, I look at him as a point forward, which is what they call LeBron, a guy who's got the ball in his hands a lot. But I don't know if it takes anything away from Cade to have another guy, a ball handler next to him.
What they need to address is that they need to have something formidable next to Jalen Duren, because what we saw was that Isaiah Stewart was not effective at all. You got some good stuff from my man Paul Reed. He was cool, but it can help Jalen Duren if he has something. If he's got something that's like what Jared Allen has next to him, and Evan Mobley.
I agree, but we're looking at that team with offensive woes. So you're talking about a scoring forward, not a defensive guy.
Much as they need somebody on the perimeter to score the ball, they're going to need somebody on the post to help hold that down with Jalen Duren. You got to think about that. He did this with Tobias Harris.
Right. Right.
Who had a great postseason.
At times he pulled him out of the fire, Tobias Harris. But yeah, he wasn't consistent.
Another texter says if there's no real Ja Morant trade out there that is reasonable, or is it reasonable that the team could just cut him and eat salary for 2 years?
No. I don't see that.
That would make, there is a trade you could make. You can, depending on what you're truly willing to accept. But you're not just going to eat that type of money. That makes no sense to eat that type of money. Instead of just taking something for him, at least in return.
There was the other trade rumor over the weekend, which has been out there before, involving Miami, because Miami was one of those teams at the trade deadline that came up. And I forget all the details of this trade, but in essence, it would send Tyler Hero to Memphis. Anything? Crickets?
For the most part, yeah. Good player, but how's they going to make you better? What's they going to do for you
What's
right
he
now?
making, too? What's he making right now?
Well, I'll take Tyler. He's an expiring contract for next year. I would take that. That's fine. I don't think Tyler Hero's not going to be a part of your future.
Long term. Yeah. What is he, like 25 on his contract?
He makes $33 million next year.
He's a good player, but I mean, you would think that you would want to get something that will help you for the future, not just an expiring contract. And I mean, can you get a player out of there that will be a part of your rotation moving forward? That's the question.
Probably something that somebody don't want to give up.
Probably.
You have somebody that's going to be a part of your rotation maybe next year when you're still not very good.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about long.
You're not getting piece of your cornerstone piece of your franchise going forward.
I'm just talking about an 8th, 9th guy that can be a part of the cornerstone of the future beyond the 1 year where his contract runs out, and you'll be able to like sign the guy for more than 1 year. I don't know. I don't even know what that would be.
Another texter asked about the Grizzlies taking Boozer in the draft and rolling with Boozer, Edey, and Ja. Yeah, they very well could take Cam Boozer in the draft if he is available for them, and that would pair him with Edey. But no, barring them having a complete change of mind, those guys will not be paired with Ja Morant. That's just the bottom line. The franchise made the decision during the season that they were done with Ja Morant. And I don't think Cam Boozer is going to suddenly change their mind on Ja Morant. This is a rebuild. Once you traded Jaren, you made that quite clear. Keeping Ja at this point just really doesn't make sense. There's no reason to keep him after you've traded Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Well, there's two different things with that text. They're not. One depends on the other. Cam Boozer, if he's available at 3, is their pick. Okay, let's not even try to complicate this thing. If Cam Boozer's there at 3, he's going to the Grizzlies. The Ja Morant thing's a whole different story. But I still think that it's not out of the question that Washington could take Boozer 1, or there could be some sort of trade. That's all I'm saying. It could happen. But again, I want to make it clear. If Cam Boozer's available at 3, the Grizzlies are taking him. That's it. Also, before we take our next break, did you guys see that Brandon Clark, the late Brandon Clark, had a fiance, and she came out, and her name is Amber Lorraine, and she penned a very touching tribute to her fiance, Brandon Clark, who died, of course, a week ago. I guess technically a week ago tonight, and we haven't heard anything more about the investigation into his death. But she penned this tribute. It was very touching. And again, it makes it even sadder to know, because we were wondering, well, he's not married, doesn't have any kids, I don't think, but does he have a significant other? Apparently, he had a very significant other, a fiance, which makes it even sadder. Folks, Lawn Solutions is a locally owned weed control fertilization company that serves the greater Memphis area. Brandon Holly and his team of pros can help your lawn. Just go online to lawnsolutionsinc.net or give them a call at 867-5626. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's a locally owned, family-operated company. They kill the weeds, get you that green, plush, beautiful lawn. They control the germination of weeds all year long. They're applying right now what they call post-emergence, and then during the winter months, even when your grass is dormant, they're treating your grass with what they call pre-emergence. They can also take care of any disease your lawn has, any insect infestation, ugly dandelions and crabgrass, grubworms and moles that can do a lot of damage, and everything else in between with diseases and with infestation of insects that can do damage to your lawn. Let them take care of it for you. 901-867-5626 or online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals, they start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery in downtown Memphis. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Jeff texts in on Sissy's Log Cabin list line. It says, Edie stayed healthy at Purdue because he lived in the paint. Big centers that stay in the paint tend to have long, productive careers. Chamberlain, Jabbar, Olajuwon, Moses, Robinson, Ewing, etc. Yeah, I don't know if there's any correlation between guys who are mostly, back to the basket guys in the paint versus now what guys are asked much more to do as bigs. I don't know that that's the reason that Edie suddenly is getting hurt.
Well, the Admiral and the Dream didn't live in the paint either. They moved around a little bit. They moved on the perimeter. They even defended the perimeter.
But you also would think that there's more banging in the paint.
Oh, yeah, it's more banging.
I mean, more chances to get hurt in the paint. You're banging. You're going up against another Goliath. I don't know.
But we're also talking about 7-foot dudes who generally, tall dudes that play basketball, have a propensity to get injured on lower extremities. But they're still moving around. Like Dream was active like that, just on the perimeter and post.
Dream with his Dream shake.
Yeah, I mean, his footwork. I mean, just alone was just.
I mean, Ewing had a good jumper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Pat definitely had a good, 15 to 18 foot jumper. But
he was living in the paint.
Yeah,
Patrick Ewing was playing in the paint.
Right. They're still paint guys, right?
Right, they're still paint.
That's where centers were. You put them in there.
They're not operating like Jokic is on the point.
The thing is, they're not. Again, Olajuwon did. I mean, he was just unbelievable. But now there are so many centers around the league that are playing on the perimeter that as a defensive guy like Zach Edey, he's now being asked to defend guys in areas he's never had to defend guys before.
Yeah.
In college, he's just going to stand in the paint. He never had to come out. Who cares?
It's kind of like the direct flip of what I say about Wemby. Like, he can control the paint and the perimeter at the same time. Well, with Zach, he can just do the paint.
Yeah.
You can't really rely on him out front because, as you mentioned before, slow footwork.
So Duncan would take it outside and hit that bank shot.
So if you're asking a 7'4" giant
to chase
guys around the perimeter, can that lead to more ankle and stuff injuries?
Very much.
Very good, I guess.
That's a possibility. Yeah.
So, I mean, there is something to be said for that.
Yeah.
I think there is.
Absolutely.
Again, whether that's the reason for the injuries, I don't know. But you could understand where asking those guys to move around a lot more cutting and everything else,
Absolutely.
just because they're trying to defend a guy on the perimeter that in years past those guys never really had to do.
Different style of play, just overall.
So what did you guys think of Anthony Edwards leaving his bench during a timeout, going over to the Spurs bench to congratulate the guys with 8 minutes to go in the game?
Personally, I had no problem with it, but I understand the uproar. I mean, he was done. They're down 30 or whatever at that point. He's got 2 bad knees. Waved his white flag. He's like, I know I'm not coming back.
I would usually go off. People know me long enough here on this show that I would go off about that because I think you compete to the final second. I don't know why I don't have an issue with it. I probably should have an issue with it. I think it's dumb that he did that, and he's getting lambasted, like you said, by a lot of people. But that game was over. I don't know. Eli, what do you think? Again, I should be mad, and I'm not.
No, I have no problem. Whatever. The game was over. I mean, there was no doubt. It was done. It was over. The series is over. I don't have any problem, and that's and that doesn't surprise me at all from Ant. He's one of the guys in the NBA that I would see doing that. I don't even know who else, but Ant, I absolutely see doing that.
A part of it is kind of refreshing that he did do it because it is Ant. It's like, I'm not going to fake it.
Yeah, he has no problem just being blunt. No, we got our butts whooped. We were done. It was over.
I don't want to see that become a trend. Where players leave their bench, go over to the other bench during a timeout with 8 minutes to go. I mean, the game was over with Detroit and Cleveland, for goodness sakes. By the way, it was cool to see Naquan Tomlin get in the game for Cleveland. Former Memphis Tiger. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
A midseason pickup for Penny Hardaway, now playing in the NBA playoffs, for goodness sakes, and now will be a part of the team that makes it to the Eastern Conference Final. On a full contract, that's right. Went from two-way, got the standard NBA contract. So here's my question for you guys. SGA wins the MVP, voted upon by his fellow players. Right? This is not a media thing, because I said this a couple of weeks ago.
This is a media thing.
I'm sorry. It's a media thing. I said this a couple of weeks ago that I think if it was voted upon by the players, I think Wemby would have got a little more support. Because they see what kind of freak the dude is. They see a guy that's that 7'6" driving to the bucket. They understand that. The media, I'm not saying they're stupid, but it's easy to go SGA. Look at the team, they're number one. But what the Spurs did this year, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals, led by Wemby. Okay, I can understand it either way. I could have understood if Wemby got it. But do you see moving forward with the media? What would be your projection on? Let's say 10 years from now. So SGA's got the jump. 10 years from now, who has more MVPs? SGA or Wemby?
You kidding me? It's Wemby.
I don't know. Does he play 65 games every year?
If he meets the requirement, it's like.
I mean, it sounds like an easy thing, but he's two in a hole right now. He's down 2. So 10 years.
Say he's down 2, but he's in his 3rd season.
No. But that would be taken away from SGA.
Right.
I mean, if SGA continues to do what he does, and Oklahoma City continues to do what he does the media, do they reward him, or do they start to get SGA fatigue?
If he is meeting the minimum requirements, the media will have no choice. He's not going to leave a choice upon us.
Is there anybody else right now? We don't know who's coming into the league in the next 10 years, but we know the players that are in the league right now, guys like Jokic, Doncic, obviously Cade Cunningham had a great year, others on the horizon, Cooper Flag being one of them. Do you see, now of course it's probably not going to be where SGA and Wemby win all 10 years and MVP because things happen, guys get injured, but do you see, or who do you see battling those guys? Do you see them, if they're healthy and they play their their game, do you see them getting dethroned by anybody? Are those two guys going to run roughshod over the league the next 10 years? I guess that's my question.
Where does Giannis end up? I mean, does he get on a good team? I mean, it's a lot of it is team driven, so you don't know who's going to end up on a good team or that. So
I think that's the key about both of those guys, is that they have great teams around them. You know, it's not like they're carrying the whole, well by themselves. Like they have elite talent around them in that level, and it's young, so it'll be elite talent that'll be elite with those organizations, and then they'll move forward.
See,
they're going to be really good. Both those teams are going to be really good.
That's a great point, though. But
years.
That's when you have to think about, okay, where would Oklahoma City be without SGA? Where would San Antonio be without Wemby? I'm not saying that's the end-all, be-all to make your decision, but we've talked about this Oklahoma City team, like their second five is good enough to be a team that is competitive, I think, in either the West or the East. San Antonio, not as much, although they're starting to get depth on their bench, too. I think the answer is pretty obvious, that San Antonio would be nowhere near where they are without Wemby. Whereas Oklahoma City would be good. I don't think they'd be the best without SGA. That's my opinion.
I think the Spurs would still be a playoff team without Wemby. They wouldn't be, the second seed with, 50, 60 plus wins or whatever that they got it with, but they could be a good, 48 to 52 win type of squad.
I can buy that, but the question was...
That's a different level.
Yes, it's a different level if you don't have Wemby. Town Village Audubon Park, senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before. They're dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and the quality of life for their residents. All they ask is that you're 55 years of age or older. They're located at 950 Cherry Road, just off Park Avenue in the heart of East Memphis. You can call them at 901-537-0002 or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. Independent living, short-term respite stay, monthly options may be the way to go. Great event schedule, activities galore for the residents, everything you need to continue to enjoy life to its fullest. Some of the basic services include monthly rental with no buy-in. Apartments include full kitchen, washer, and dryer, all-inclusive resort-style dining, multiple venues, bi-weekly housekeeping and outpatient therapy. And the community amenities, they have a community social area. Features a fitness center, home theater, game rooms, indoor pool, whirlpool, 24-hour pantry, beauty salon, library, computer center, and so much more. Plus 5 landscape courtyards, resident gardening areas, recreational, religious, social, and wellness activities, dog park, gated parking, everything you need to enjoy life to its fullest for those golden years. Maybe your golden years, maybe the golden years of a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, whoever it may be. Think Town Village Audubon Park. Again, take the tour, give them a call, set it up at 901-537-0002, or go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com, 950 Cherry Road in the heart of East Memphis. Hour 2 on the way. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on brakes?
We mark Duralast brake pads down to free.
Free Duralast brake pads?
When you buy 2 rotors.
Can I get Duralast Gold pads for free?
With 2 Duralast Gold rotors, and there's a lifetime warranty on brake pads.
That's a huge markdown for so many miles.
Save on brakes and more during Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Cleanup on a couple of accidents out here. It's busy. We would expect coming down I-40 right now westbound, especially here at Germantown Parkway. All that traffic still building in from Fayette County right now. Pretty much on schedule. I-40 here at 269. It's busier than it was 15-20 minutes ago on the northbound lanes of 240 here up by Lamar, trying to get up through Midtown. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way. The world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. Log on right now at stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Jay Ham with you in the Monday, May 18th, 2026 edition. We're broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, they're at 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of Interstate 40. Currently 77. Already feels like 83. Yes, the humidity has arrived in Memphis. 89 degrees for the high today, so that means that feel like's going to be in the lower 90s. Will be a bit breezy, warm and humid. A little bit of clouds, a little bit of sun, a little mixture. Then some rain in the forecast. Oh, for the next 4 days. Doesn't mean it's an all-day affair. Right now, I just see possibilities of thunderstorms Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Hour number 2 of this program brought to you each and every day by, say it all together, James Gaddis Jewelers. They've been with us for years at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at GaddisJewelers.com. 60 years to be exact. They've been in existence. They are your family's jeweler. They're open Monday through Friday 10 to 5, Saturday 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. And every Monday and Friday they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. Did you know the University of Memphis Tigers baseball team, and we'll talk with Matt Reiser coming up at 9:05, they ended the regular season with 124 stolen bases. That's the second most in a single season in school history. The Tigers were number 1 in the American Conference and were in the top 25 nationally. Again, they will begin the American Conference tournament on Wednesday in Clearwater. We'll talk more college baseball later on in the show. You talked about Sunday. We were all hoping for the excitement of what could have been a dramatic Sunday. The NBA game did not go the way we had hoped. It was an absolute massacre as Cleveland destroyed Detroit in Game 7. Of course, that was after the PGA Championship wrapped up just outside of Philadelphia, the second major of the season. We had 1 million guys within 3 strokes. I mean, not maybe 1 million, but close to it. It just seemed like everybody was in contention going into Sunday. We were going to have an unbelievable shootout. Alex Smalley led by 2 going in, the Duke product. And then lo and behold, one by one, they just fell to the wayside, couldn't make big putts, didn't make key shots, except for Aaron Rai. The Englishman wins the PGA Championship by shooting a 65, shot a 31 on the back 9, the first Englishman to win the PGA Championship in 107 years, and he put an exclamation point on his win with that 68-foot, unbelievable, incredible putt at 17 at Aronimink. Just an unbelievable performance by Rai. But the drama, Eli, unfortunately never happened.
Yeah, it was, it just, you look at Scotty Scheffler, who had, if I putted like Scotty Scheffler did, I would be angry with myself, and I'm not even close to the best golfer in the world. I don't understand what in the world happened to him over the weekend on short putts. 10 putts missed inside of 6 feet. For the best golfer in the world, 10 putts inside of 6 feet missed, including some 3-footers. He just never could make a move. You got Rory, who is the best driver of the golf ball in the world, and he can't birdie the par 5s. And then you got Aaron Rai, who isn't the longest hitter by any means. People make fun of him because of the iron covers. They make fun of him because of the 2 gloves. And the dude was absolutely unbelievable those final 10 holes. From the moment he made the eagle on 9, he basically played perfect golf. It was just robot-like, seemingly. And congratulations to him. Yeah, nobody else could make a move. He finally did, and he made one hell of a move and never looked back. And that putt on 17 was insane. Made 18 look easy as well, which caused a lot of people problems. He just, he was absolutely amazing that final 10 holes.
Yeah, and talk about not having drama. There were 2 more groups that were behind him. So when he finished up on 18, made a great shot, his approach shot, missed the putt, or he would have shot 64 by like an inch. But there was no drama because there were still groups to finish off, and he had to wait around with his wife and kill some time and then come back. But you mentioned, well, he's made fun of in certain regards. He's also respected. People, who was it that said, I think it was Xander Schauffele, that everybody loves Aaron Rai. He's considered one of the nicest guys on tour, and good guys do finish first sometimes. He got better every round, 70, 69, 67, 65, and pockets $3.69 million for the win. John Rahm from Liv, Alex Smalley, who had the 2-shot lead going in to the 4th and final round, both finished tied for second at 6 under par. They had to settle for just $1.8 million apiece. Then Justin Thomas, Matty Schmid, Ludwig Oberg, all 5 under, tied for 4th. And then tying for 7th, Cameron Smith, also from Liv. Liv had a pretty good showing. Xander Schauffele, Rory McIlroy. McIlroy he never got it going. He had a lot of good putts that just missed a little left, a little right, a little short. He just couldn't find the groove. And then the frustration on the par 5s where he shot even par for the tournament on par 5s, which he usually eats up. And that last one, which was hole number 16, he put it in the bunker, may have put it in the bunker twice, and then had the little back and forth with one of the fans with the USA chants. He was not happy.
No, obviously a lot of frustration, as he said, like when the drivable par 4, he makes bogey. And again, just not able to take advantage. He couldn't keep the ball in the fairway. He kept missing, and that rough was penal. Just really hard to play out of that rough. And with the tilt to some of those fairways, a lot of times he would land it in the fairway and then it would just roll into the rough, whatever. But again, for Scotty to do what he did putting, and for Rory to not be able to take advantage of the par 5s, that's what will open the door for somebody like Aaron Rai. And again, he did everything he could possibly do. He's always been known as a great ball striker. He's hit the ball straight as could be. It's like he's always been known, not long, but straight as could be, and kept the ball in the fairway, just hit some, and it was like robot-like. He was pretty much the last 10 holes didn't miss a shot. Like, it was just everything you would ask to do on every shot is where he would put it. Like, it was unbelievable.
It didn't even seem like he was sweating, to be honest with you. And you're right, while he's not a long hitter, he still belted that drive on 18. What was it, 340, somewhere in that neighborhood? Yeah, Rory gets up there and hits it 370 or 380, but my gosh, he still belted the darn thing and then put it right on the green, had a shot at the birdie to end 18, to end his tournament, and just missed, but it didn't matter. He was already in control by then. John Rahm had a lot of putts, again, that just burned the edges. Everybody had their opportunity. Oberg was back and forth. Cameron Smith had a great chance and then just went dry at the end. Now, Justin Thomas was 5 under. He was in the clubhouse. He had to wait, 2.5 hours? People were finally realizing he could leave. And he had to wait around for a long time because he posted 5 under really early.
Yeah, he was he was done. I don't even know exactly how long it was, but it was a long time. They were early. The leaders were early in their front nine when Justin Thomas finished.
So here's that international flair I talked about to open up the show. Rye from England. Then you had a Spaniard, an American, a German, a Swede, an Australian, an American, Northern Ireland, another Englishman, another American. So again, the mixture of players from all continents, from all around the world, really more than it's ever been. Sure, we've had international players and stars over the years for many, 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 many years. But now it just seems like they're finding golfers from countries that didn't play golf 50 years ago. And they're finding these Nordic countries now producing the players that they're producing. The Norways, the Finlands, the Denmarks, there's a lot more of them than there has ever been. And look, there were low scores to be had. Just ask Kurt Kitayama on Sunday, who shot a 63. It ties the lowest score in the final round of a major in major golf history.
Yeah, he was terrific. He could kind of play freely. And the course got more difficult. Pretty much every day it got more difficult because the wind generally picked up as the day went along. Those greens got really baked out. They were rock hard by the end of the day yesterday. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the front nine, especially. The front nine was generally gettable most days. It's certainly the easier of the two. And, it was seeing what Kitayama did. You're like, okay, what if we get a few of guys that were able to go out and do that? We could have a really fun back nine. And everybody was mostly stuck in neutral.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for as fans.
Even Aaron Rai was stuck in neutral for the first 8. And then all of a sudden, he makes the eagle on 9. And then from there just was absolutely incredible. And everybody else was still stuck in neutral the rest of the way. You kept thinking, okay, is this where Rory, could Rory make an eagle on one of the par 5, or could he drive the green and maybe make eagle or something? And he just was a little bit off with his driver and kept missing fairways. And when you're not in the fairway out there, it's generally not going to go well.
I know there was a long way to go after he did this, but when he eagled that hole on 9, I thought to myself, he's won this tournament. And I had actually on Saturday, after he had got to 4 under par, I said, this is somebody like this is going to win. Because for many, many years, to me, it seemed like out of the 4 majors, of course, the Masters is a limited field. I understand that. But it always seemed like there was a guy that came out of nowhere to win the PGA. Our very own good friend, Sean McKeel. Right? He came out of nowhere to win in 2003. And he wasn't alone. A lot of guys have done that. And I don't know if it's coming out of nowhere, but I think it's close to nowhere. Even if it's not, he can see it from where he was, Aaron Rai. But congratulations. That was just a great win. So now you got 2 more majors to go. The U.S. Open will be next month, Shinnecock Hills, Long Island, New York. And then you'll have the Open Championship. Where's the Open Championship this year? It's not St. Andrews, is it?
No, it's not. I'm not sure where, but it's not St. Andrews.
Okay, and then before too long, FedEx St. Jude Championship and the FedEx Cup playoffs.
They talk about I'm stunned that there hadn't been an English winner of the PGA Championship in 107 years. That's crazy to me.
Yes.
I never would have guessed in a million years that was a thing. That they just don't win the PGA Championship. I also didn't realize how dominant Americans had been in the PGA Championship. with this being the first international winner since I think 2015, I guess it was, whatever. But I didn't realize just the run that the Americans were on in the PGA Championship. But I would have never guessed that it's been that long for an English golfer to win the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I was surprised by that as well. From the world of the NFL, over the weekend, it finally happened. This was, to me, just once again, Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. I think by the actions of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that there did not seem to be any panic, that they knew already. I said this last year, that they knew they were getting Aaron Rodgers. I can't imagine another year. It's a one-year deal. He could make as much as $25 million, but he is back in Pittsburgh for another year. New head coach Mike McCarthy, who he teamed with in Green Bay to win a Super Bowl. I got to think that this is the swan song. This is it. I know some people said that last year. I didn't believe so. I thought he was going to come back for another year, and I thought it was going to be Pittsburgh. And then he talked glowingly about Pittsburgh, about the fans, about the organization. So it's just Aaron on Aaron time. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. They went out. They made some moves with the receivers. They get Metcalf. They added some pieces. I think there's still some pieces away. But they got their guy, who's now, how old's Rodgers now? 42?
Something like that.
You keep him upright, and he can still throw the ball. You get to Aaron Rodgers, he's immobile. And that's the key, the offensive line. Can they protect him? But when you get another weapon like they did with Metcalf, they got some defensive pieces.
Metcalf last year.
Well, yeah, but
didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But they also went out and they got the Colts receiver, whose name escapes me. They had another receiver from the Colts. Good receiver who I was not happy. Who was that?
Pittman, yeah,
Michael Pittman. So you got Pittman, you got Metcalf, no longer Calvin Austin from the University of Memphis. He's going on to the Giants. Freiermuth at tight end. They got a couple of other receivers. I mean, certainly they got weapons. Can the running game perform the way they need it to? And it all goes back to that offensive line. Opening up holes, protecting for Aaron Rodgers. But today, 8 teams kick off OTAs. So football right around the corner, NFL football. Bills, Cardinals, Dolphins, Falcons, Raiders, Ravens, Titans, and the aforementioned Steelers begin their OTAs today. Also, over the weekend, if the PGA and the NBA playoffs weren't enough, we had the second of the horse racing Triple Crown races. The unfortunate thing about it was that we did not have the Kentucky Derby winner racing in the Preakness. And the race was at Laurel Park as opposed to Pimlico, where they're doing renovations. And in the end, it was Napoleon Solo, who I loved. I love the gray horses, but there were 3 gray horses in that race. But Napoleon Solo ended up going off at 10-1, wins the race. Iron Honor was second, and Chip Honcho ended up third.
Yeah, the just kind of hung in there, right there, second place, pretty much the entire race behind Taj Mahal, and then Taj Mahal just did not have anything left. Taj Mahal looked like the final stretch for Taj Mahal looked like the Detroit Pistons Game 7. There was just nothing left. They all started running past him like he was stopped, man. That poor horse was like he could have went to the other team's huddle and shook hands and said, "I'm done. Good night, everybody." Man, it didn't look like he just like he hit a wall, and every horse seemingly ran past him down that stretch. And Good finish for Solo. The Napoleon Solo did have that final kick, and even when the other horse came on the outside, I thought it was going to get there. But Napoleon Solo had that one extra final kick and ran away with it.
So 3 more weeks, and the Belmont will take place once again. The Belmont will not be in Elmont, New York. It will be where the Belmont is. No, it'll be once again at Saratoga Springs because they continue to refurbish the Belmont, and they'll be ready next year. So 2 of the 3 Triple Crown races are, or at least 1 already and 1 to come, venues that aren't the normal venues for those races.
So On the PGA Championship, we talked obviously Friday about Garrick Higo and his missing or being late for his tee time, his on time but late tee time. He ends up missing the cut by one shot. So last place, the last place finisher got $23,900. So at the very minimum, Garrick Higo's inability to show up for his tee time on time cost him $23,900. That's if he did nothing over the weekend. That's if he played terribly over the weekend. He was going to get $23,900 if he just shows up for his tee time on Thursday.
You think he'll be late again for an event?
That is...
For a tee time? No way.
That's, I mean, gosh almighty. For a guy, I mean, not like Garrick Higo's, they're all doing, most of these guys are doing fine. But, you know, if this is like a guy who's got a bunch of wins, who's got more money than you can imagine, to lose out on basically $24,000 because you were a minute late. Oh man, that one's that's a tough pill to swallow.
No, again, it's just stupid. I don't understand. Punctuality. Get there, so what? You got to wait around a little bit. You got to wait around a couple of minutes. Have a sip of water, loosen up. It doesn't make any sense to be over there for an extra putt on the putting green and have a chance that you'll be late for your tee time and it'll cost you. And as you said, it did cost them. All right, when we come back, we got a lot of baseball to get into, both Major League Baseball and college baseball. Before we do that, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors. That's All Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Are you ready for summer? All the new Silverados are in Olive Branch at All Star Chevrolet. No interest financing or $7,000 in cash. Wow. Go big with your new HD Silverado. Make no payments all summer. No payments all summer with your new Trax Colorado truck or a new Traverse with the third row seat. Your good credit deserves it. This is Military Appreciation Month. Our friends at All Star love our military. In May, get a $1,000 military appreciation bonus on almost every Chevy model here. That's $1,000. And if you want a barely driven certified Chevy or the hottest pre-owned Chevy, All Star is spot on. Tahoe, Suburbans, Trailblazers. For all your fleet and commercial express cargo passenger vans, All Star Chevy is the top-rated business elite dealer. So together, let's drive. Don't miss the Ready for Summer event going on now in Olive Branch at All Star Chevrolet and online at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals, they start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717 or book your inspection online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. If you've been injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless we win.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-70. They've got the fight.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
The wait is finally over. Get ready for the grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. You can shop grand opening savings at Landers Cadillac of Memphis, and you'll find there's a special deal on all the remaining new 2024 Escalades. You can get $20,000 in total savings. And they're paying top dollar for trades at Landers Cadillac. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass at CadillacofMemphis.com. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning, T-Dot's wrapping up a couple of accidents out here. It's still busy through the Midtown area, right on schedule actually in the northbound lanes. At 240 here at Lamar, continuing up from the south, it looks like it's got a little bit heavier on 55 all the way up to Brooks and Elvis Presley. Hey, bridal season, it's just around the corner. You know where to shop this week and save a lot of money by shopping local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The SEC baseball tournament will begin tomorrow. Once again, they will be implementing the ABS, the system that will basically give you the option to dispute a home plate umpire's strike or ball call, and then you'll go to the replay, and that's what they're using right now in Major League Baseball. Was not used during the regular season. 3 challenges per team, and so it's been implemented here in the SEC tournament. But the action will get underway tomorrow. First round action, and the first game will pit number 9 seed Ole Miss and number 16 seed Missouri. That game will start at 9:30 from Hoover, Alabama. That means the pregame starts at 9, so we will be shortened tomorrow. We'll only have 2 hours from 7 until 9 o'clock before we hand things off to the Ole Miss Radio Network and the broadcast call David Kellum from Hoover.
Yeah, they draw the early time slot tomorrow, and then if they win, same time on Wednesday as well. And you would expect Ole Miss to win tomorrow, playing Missouri, who has struggled mightily. Then they would advance. You would get the Egg Bowl, get Ole Miss, Mississippi State possibly in a second round game. Again, the SEC, it's amazing when you look at some of these, like where teams are seeded, and you think about like Mississippi State, I think was at one point like the number 1 team in the country. I know they were in the top 5 for a while, and they're the 8th seed in the SEC tournament. Like, that's how brutal the SEC is.
LSU was the preseason pick to win the SEC. They're the 14th seed.
Yeah, it's been a rough year for the defending champions. They have it has not gone well for them. But it's Tennessee, who's been very highly ranked, they're playing on day 1 as the 10 seed. I mean, it's the SEC in baseball is just unbelievable.
So Ole Miss, Missouri tomorrow, 9:30. Then Vandy, Kentucky, Vandy the 12, Kentucky the 13. You mentioned Tennessee, the 10 seed. They'll go at 4:30. That's Central Time versus number 15, South Carolina. That'll be followed by number 11, Oklahoma, and number 14, LSU. The teams that await tomorrow, you mentioned Mississippi State awaits the Ole Miss, Missouri winner. They're the 8 seed. Florida's the 5 seed. They get the Vandy, Kentucky winner. Arkansas, the 7 seed, will take on Tennessee or South Carolina. And then Auburn, the 6 seed, will get the Oklahoma and LSU winner. Is it single elimination in the first round?
It's single elimination all the way through.
It's single elimination all the way through. Okay, so Ole Miss's season on the line today against Carrick Jackson in Missouri. Of course, Carrick Jackson, the former Memphis Tigers baseball coach from, I guess, several years ago. Let's say it would be 4 years ago, because this is the third year for Matt Reiser. But it's anybody's ball game, isn't it? I mean, the top 4 seeds are Georgia 1, Texas 2, Texas A&M 3, and Alabama 4. All great programs. But I think all bets are off when you get to single elimination tournament when you have all these good teams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there certainly are, a number of teams that are very, very capable of putting a run together and winning the SEC tournament. Obviously those teams that have the double bye into the quarterfinals, it's just a huge advantage because of the way it sets up for pitching. So those top 4 seeds have the massive advantage there, but certainly is not going to be out of the question for one of the other teams that's playing on day 1 or day 2 to make a run and win the SEC tournament.
Now, the American Conference tournament has only half the teams that the SEC tournament has. 8 of their 10 go, and Memphis, by winning their first game against Charlotte on Thursday, clinched a spot in the tournament for the first time in 3 years. They had a chance to win that series. Unfortunately, Charlotte scores 3 in the bottom of the 9th to win the series. Memphis still finishes as the number 5 seed in the American Conference tournament. They will open up as the 5 seed against Charlotte. So they'll play the team they just played, Charlotte, the 8 seed. So you got 5, 6, 7, and 8 for the first day. And those 2 games are single elimination. The losers are done. Memphis, if they win, they will move on. And then it becomes double elimination. And they would play UAB if they won. So obviously, pressure on Memphis in that first game. We'll talk to Matt Reiser about it at 9:05 when he joins us in studio. But the Tigers did their job. A late flurry to end the season with series wins over East Carolina and UTSA to put themselves in the position to get to the tournament. Now, in the majors, we had a wacky weekend of things, including a couple of Subway series. I guess in Chicago is what? The L Train? Is that what they call it?
Yes.
The L Train series. I hate to bring up...
to the Crosstown Classic.
Crosstown Classic. All right. It's a Subway series in New York. You have the Chicago White Sox in a come-from-behind win, beating the Chicago Cubs, your Chicago Cubs, 9-8 in the third and final game of the series in 10 innings. And the Pale Hose reigned supreme in the city of Chicago, in the second city, as they win that series 2-1. What is your explanation, Mr. Cub?
The White Sox played well. The Cubs had some issues. Once again, they continue to have issues with hitting with runners in scoring position. And yesterday, the bullpen was a bit of a train wreck, and the White Sox end up hitting the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 10th inning after the Cubs had scored 1 in the top of the 10th. They gave up the 2-run shot to walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. The Cubs should have gotten more. They had the bases loaded, had a good situation in the top of the 10th, but couldn't score more than 1, and then the walk-off home run ended it. So yeah, the White Sox continue to play well at this point.
Edgar Quero with a 2-run home run in the 10th inning to win it for the White Sox. It's weird because the National League Central has been one of the stories so far in baseball, but going into this new week, all on losing streaks. Cubs have lost 2 in a row. Now Milwaukee and St. Louis have only lost 1. That was their Sunday game. Pittsburgh has lost 3, and Cincinnati has lost 2 in a row. So all 5 teams on a losing streak. In the Subway Series, another surprise. White Sox beat the Cubs in Chicago. The New York Mets, struggling all year long, they win in 10 innings over the Yankees. They win in walk-off fashion, 7-6. They get the big 3-run home run in the 9th by Taylor to force the extra innings eventually, and then the Mets get the win and win the series 2-1.
Yeah, Mets are starting to play a little bit better baseball. While the Yankees are struggling right now. The Yankees now 3 games behind Tampa Bay in that AL East. They've lost 7 of their last 10. So they're struggling a little bit, and the Mets. I don't know if this is a sign that they're actually figuring some things out, but they're playing a little bit better baseball than what they were early when they had the long losing streak.
Still 6 games under 500 are the Metropolitans, 20-26, 11.5 out behind the Braves in the NL East. Run differential, though, now minus 16. Not that that means a lot, but it was a lot worse. So they are playing a little bit better. They decided to keep their skipper. They did not make a move, and we'll see. They got a long way to go. In the meantime, one of the hottest teams, my Phillies, 15-4 under Don Mattingly. And now they've surged to over 500. They got a ways to go, though, to catch the Braves, if they can even catch the Braves. But they're 8 games out now. They've moved into second place, 24-23. And there's a long way to go in the season. And as far as a wild card, right now for the playoffs, if they were to start today, they would be out. But only 3.5 games now behind the Cardinals and the Brewers, who own the last 2 wildcard spots. The Padres would own the first. But as I said, we're a quarter of the way through the season, and the Phillies have become a hot team in Major League Baseball. Also, some other injury news. Jose Altuve now on the injured list for the Astros with an oblique strain, but they're struggling. They're a team that I thought would struggle this year. The rain is done. The Astros now got to think about maybe unloading what's left of that team from their glory days, which includes Altuve. But they got beat by the Rangers 8-0. Yeah,
you mentioned injuries, man, and it has been all around baseball. Big names continuing to go down with injuries, from pitchers to position players to everything. It is becoming a bit of a survival of the fittest, and that's why I think you could see some of these surprise teams, because if you could stay healthy right now, you got a pretty darn good chance, because seemingly every team in baseball has dealt with some key injury or multiple key injuries.
Yeah, there's no question about it. We talked about the series in Chicago, the series in New York, and then, of course, there was the series in Los Angeles, which is not much of one. The Dodgers and the Halos, and the Dodgers sweep that series as they blow out the Angels 10-1 to win the Sunday finale. The Angels now 16-31, a minus 60 run differential, which is the worst in baseball. How do the Angels do it? Every single year, they are steady eddies, being crap. And Mike Trout, you got to think by the trade deadline is going to finally be moved. I know he's talked about it before. He's enjoyed his time in Los Angeles. He respects the organization. But I think this is a Giannis situation. There's only so many times that you can praise the organization and say that you're going to stay with an organization. And certainly Giannis has done that. But now I think he will be dealt. I think it's going to come to a head and he'll be dealt. And I think the same thing with Mike Trout.
Yeah, I mean, what they want to do, first of all, they need him to stay healthy. And if he can stay healthy and continue to hit, certainly I would think that there would be some teams out there that would be very much interested in acquiring Mike Trout. And I don't know what exactly you can get for him right now or what they can get for him, but it certainly, he is not doing them any good. They are absolutely awful. Worst record in baseball. So looking to move him if they can get some prospects, that would probably be a pretty smart move for the Angels.
The only division that is in the team in first who's in control is the National League East right now, with the Braves up 8 on the Phillies. But the Phillies are coming. With a bullet, the Phillies are coming. But the National League Central, the Cubs lead down to a 1.5 games over the Brewers and Cardinals. The National League West, the Padres, look, the Padres are a star-studded team. They have a big payroll. Not the Dodgers' payroll, not as many stars, but they certainly have their stars, and they're playing well. They're 10 over 500. They're a half a game behind the Dodgers. And then in the American League, Tampa's got a 3-game lead over the Yankees. They were trailing. Now they're ahead. Now they're up by 3. And then after that, Blue Jays, Orioles, and Red Sox kissing goodbye So it's a two-team race. The American League Central, Guardians by 1 over the surprising White Sox. Twins, Tigers are one of those teams that you talked about with the injuries. 5.5 games out. Royals are 5.5 out as well. So it's not over, certainly, for all 5 of those teams. But I think this is a race between the Guardians, and if the Tigers can get healthy, I don't know. Maybe the White Sox have sustaining power for this year. And then in the West is kind of kooky, other than the Angels being last, which you would expect. The A's are in first, the Sacramento A's, soon to be the Vegas A's, formerly the Oakland A's. They lead the Rangers by a game, who I still like to win that division, along with the Mariners. It's a two-team race, I think, but the A's are hanging in there, and they got some talent. I'll be curious to see what the A's do at the trade deadline. Texas a game out, Seattle 2 out. Astros, despite being 10 under 500, are 5 out, but I see them being a seller. And then, speaking of the cellar dwellers, the LA Angels.
The folks at the Athletic continue to roll out the results of their NBA anonymous player poll, and they've done some more stuff today, including one question that pertains to us here in Memphis. We'll get to that coming up. But do you want to tell you about, of course, Central Barbecue? Everybody knows Central Barbecue at the various locations around town and the delicious barbecue they're making on a daily basis, from their delicious ribs to what I love, their smoked turkey. Of course, they've got the great hot wings, too, from the non-barbecue side of things. But now the Midtown location, that's, of course, where the original is, right there on Central in Midtown, 2235 Central. Now, it's no longer that original building. It's a brand new building and all that. But they now are serving breakfast daily from 7 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. Biscuits, burritos, toaster sandwiches, French toast. Got to try the brisket burrito for breakfast that they have over at the Central Avenue location of Central Barbecue. Also, now a full bar as well, serving mixed drinks, wine, and local beers. Open daily from 11 a.m. until close. The OG Bar. That also, again, the Central Avenue location. Go on in, try out their Tiger Margarita. So again, 2235 Central Avenue, still serving up that delicious barbecue on a daily basis, but now also serving up breakfast from 7 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. daily, and the OG Bar, serving up everything, mixed drinks, wine, local beers, from 11 a.m. until close every day over at the Central Avenue location of Central Barbecue.
This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So over the past month or so, The Athletic has released bits and pieces of their anonymous NBA player poll that they do every year. They've done 3 or 4 questions at a time that they've released, and they've released some more this morning. One of the questions they asked there that is in this one is, what team will Giannis be on to begin next season? And of the 151 players that responded, 45.7% believe he will be back in Milwaukee. So the players overwhelmingly think that Milwaukee will make the decision to end up keeping him. Miami second, 23%, and the Knicks at 16%.
Well, still 55% think that he won't be back.
Yeah. The Timberwolves got a couple of votes. Warriors got a couple of votes. Rockets, Raptors. Oklahoma City got a vote.
Oh, gosh.
San Antonio got a vote.
How about the Grizzlies?
Grizzlies did not get a vote. Grizzlies were not mentioned in that one.
Were not others receiving votes?
Which arena has the most passionate fans?
Is this where Memphis is mentioned?
Who do you think would have the most? Who do you think they would say have the most passionate fans?
Oklahoma City.
The people in Toronto get pretty hype.
The Thunder Paycom Center is third. Who's the Raptors? Raptors are way down there, only 1.2%.
Okay, let's see.
And no, FedEx Forum. FedEx Forum is an others receiving votes. They got one vote.
They got a vote?
They got one vote.
How about the Warriors?
The Warriors, 3.1% of the vote.
How about the Knicks?
Knicks second, 19.3% of the vote. Just behind, I guess would be 2 votes behind the leader. Another team in
Sixers?
No. But
Celtics.
That part of the world, yes. The Celtics. TD Garden, 20%, 20.5% of the votes went to Boston on that one. Which arena has the most obnoxious fans?
Philly.
They're second, 17.9%.
Utah.
No.
No, but they got a couple of fans that are pretty bad.
They are fourth, though. They got 8.2%.
That's pretty
They're
good.
right ahead of the Grizzlies.
Hey,
Grizzlies
Vernon Maxwell will rank them number 1. He hates Utah.
The Grizzlies pulled in 3.8% of the votes on this one for the most obnoxious fans.
Yeah, we're always on the most appealing lists, aren't we? So who's number 1? Obnoxious fans. Could it be the Celtics also on that list?
Could be a fine line between passionate and obnoxious. The Celtics got 32% of the vote for obnoxious. So they got 20% for the passionate. They get 32% for obnoxious. Again, fine line between those two things. And there's been a lot of historically racist stuff that's come out of Boston.
I mean, they had a movie made about them. Celtic Pride, you know. So.
What is the first team on your no trade list?
What is the first team? The first team I say I don't want to go to.
Yes.
Oh, this is where the Grizzlies come in, right?
I'm with Vernon Maxwell. Don't send me to Utah.
The Grizzlies with 35.8% of the vote. The next closest is the Wizards at 11.7%.
Oh, come on, man.
Out of 120 players, over a third of them say that the Grizzlies are the number one team they do not want to be traded to.
I want to know, do they give the reasons why? Are they riding the coattails of LeBron James saying there's not enough hotels, nice hotels? What are they saying here?
I believe this was done before the LeBron comments.
Oh, jeez.
Wizards at 11.7%, Sacramento 10.8%, Pelicans 6.7%. Then the Nets and the Jazz both at 5%. Grizzlies 35.8%.
So Sacramento at 10 and Memphis is at 35. Wow. My gosh.
So again,
no wonder we have an inferiority complex.
We go back to the whole thing of why Grizzlies can't sign free agents, and there are for some reason still there are people out there that act like that's not a thing. 35% of the players polled said the Grizzlies are the number one team they do not want to be traded to.
Okay, how much of it is the organization? How much of it is the city?
Well, one of the, let's see, where there was a comment from one of the players. One player, it has nothing to do with the team. It's the location of the team. Another one, I'll play anywhere, honestly, but I would have to say Memphis is a place I don't want to live. So that would be the reason why I wouldn't want to play there.
Man. You know what's interesting? You got predominant amount of NBA players are African American. And this city's predominantly black. I just don't get it.
It's just sometimes just a disconnect with the city. Because, even one time I heard when Gilbert Arenas was here, he was killing us about not having, he's like, you guys don't go to the mall? I'm like, no, Gil, they shoot at the mall around here.
Well, unfortunately, malls are going down the crapper everywhere, but
we don't have the things that millionaires love. Yeah. That's the bottom line. We don't have the amenities in this city that they have.
Strip
at the
clubs,
other
we got them still.
No, we don't.
not like they used to be.
Yeah,
just ask
him. Like what
just
they
Eli. I think we got good restaurants. Do we have enough of them? I don't know. I think we have enough.
We don't have the 5-star hotels, restaurants.
They're going to live in a house, for goodness sake.
Those types of things that these people are used to.
They're going to live in Eads.
It's a style of living we're not accustomed to.
And Sacramento has it?
Which we know that's not the case,
Utah.
You see what I'm saying? Right now, we're just the one
Utah's
that's easy
I just don't get. I don't understand it. I just don't.
We're the easy one to pick on right now.
Yeah, Utah. Yeah, all those guys are going skiing, right? Come on, man. God, Memphis just gets piled on. I don't get it. I came here and stayed here. I've been here 31 years.
An NBA player making $40 million a year.
I know, but I'm trying to think, what are they using that $40 million on? They buy a real nice house, which you can get in Memphis, and you can have one built, and you can live in the suburbs if you want, or there's beautiful houses in the city.
And they're likely, all of these dudes, that they're, majority, if not all of them, they're probably max contract guys. Yeah. Anyway, it's not like your Brevin Knight who played here once he retired and was done, remained in the city, with his family. It's a different scenario.
No,
Zach Randolph's still here. Tony Allen's still here. A lot of,
I'm just trying to think. You got, the South and Memphis women. In the whole Mid-South, women. Are you kidding me?
Right.
You want to gamble? There's gambling.
Right. It's great proximity within a lot. I think
the restaurants are great. I'm trying to think. There are some strip clubs, not like they used to be, but I guess I don't go to them. But what else? I don't know. build yourself a beautiful house. I don't know. I think it still all has to do with the perception. Some of these guys, maybe not even, except for, well, I assume they were here, zipped in, zipped out for a game. But people who haven't even been to Memphis jump into this discussion, and they don't know. They're piling on. They're jumping on the coattails of somebody, and they're coming out and saying the same things. It just bothers me. It's the whole thing about the damn Big 12. And don't get me started about, but you weren't with us when I went on my soapbox about the Big 12. To turn down the offer that they got from Memphis. Again, you know the reason why. And so this pisses me off to hear this. But then again, I don't expect it to be better than New York, Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. Yes, it would be very, very, very low. But I'm really surprised at the 25% difference between Sacramento and Memphis. I'm not saying Sacramento's not a nice town, but I'm sure it is. But man, Sacramento, I mean, if you're going to do things, you're going to San Francisco.
I've never been to Sacramento. I have no idea. I have never been there, so I don't know what Sacramento is like at all. Reggie texts in, says that's fine. Let's go after grit and grind guys that want to be here. F them.
Yeah.
Another one says living in Memphis is a whole lot better than living in New York or Los Angeles. Not for these guys. Not when you have all of the money in the world.
Yeah, I mean, but you're right. For the players, for regular people, sure, some love to live in the big cities, but you want the easygoing life where your dollar goes a lot farther than a city like Memphis, and cities of this equivalent make a lot of sense than the big city where it's going to cost you an arm and a leg just to have a little small studio apartment. Absolutely. What I want to bring up
Reggie
here.
says, I live outside of Charlotte. Nothing great here. Charlotte was kind of middle of the pack, one of those other middle of the pack, like 3 or 4% of the vote that they got as far as a place.
Yeah, nothing to write home about, but nothing I would complain about. I've been to Charlotte a million times. I don't know. Memphis football, they have added an additional kicker in Nick Amepisic. 3 years at Michigan State. Limited action. Not sure, again, if he's coming in to take over for the guy that was projected as the kicker, if there's any kind of issue or just more competition, or now he comes in as the leading candidate. Not sure, but that was yesterday out there in the news that Memphis has added a kicker here as they get ready for the 2026 season. And camp will open up early August as they will play week 0. All right, we'll take a break. Before we do so, I want to tell you folks about Shoot 360 Memphis. Now, I've mentioned a million times that Thaddeus Young is one of the owners of Shoot 360 Memphis, and he also supports his team Thad, and they were involved heavily over the weekend in the big event that took place in Memphis, featuring some of their great teams and great players and great coaches. And a lot of those folks are still associated, or the coaches are associated with Shoot 360 Memphis. And when you head over to Shoot 360 Memphis in Collierville or in Cordova, you get that one-on-one expert coaching. Guys that have coached these kids at the EYBL level. It's a revolutionary basketball training facility. It combines cutting-edge technology with gamification. You're going to get instant feedback when you jump into one of these shooting bays with the Shoot 360 technology, analytical information every time you put up a shot. You're going to get the coaching as well. For youngsters, you go in there to learn the game of basketball. It's a great way to learn passing drills, whether it be bounce passes, chest passes. You're hitting targets on a screen, on a big screen. So it's like playing a video game, but you're being active while playing a video game. So Shoot 360 is for little kids, for older kids, for adults as well. Anybody who wants to get their shot on, even professionals. That's why guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson have used the Shoot 360 method. And you can join on a monthly basis. How do you join? Well, you can stop by or you can give them a call. Big Orange Road, that's the location of the Cordova facility, 50,000 square feet. Call them at 901-779-3176. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings and would like a tour of the facility. In Collierville, the original 85 Market Street, 901-316-5500. They're equipped with those shooting bays as well with the Shoot 360 technology. Get your shot on, become a better all-around basketball player, but specifically a better shooter by joining Shoot 360 Memphis today. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. On the other side, Matt Reiser joins us to open up Hour 3. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey Memphis, Tyler Harrington from Memphis Baseball. When you need a financial teammate who's got your back, choose Southern Security Credit Union. From great rates to friendly local service, they deliver every time. Visit southernsecurity.org or call 901-452-7900 to join today. Southern Security Credit Union, your home team credit union, is a proud supporter of Memphis Athletics and 901 Women and is federally insured by the NCUA.
Old Dominick Distillery is pure Memphis spirit, all the way from the winning atmosphere at their downtown distillery to award-winning craft spirits. And there's always something happening. Saturday, May 23rd, you're invited to Old Dominick's Crawfish Boil. Rock out to music by the Risky Whiskey Boys. Eat big and wash it all down with a craft cocktail or local beer. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Hey everybody, I hope you're ready for summer because all the new Silverados are right here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. No interest financing or $7,000 in cash. So go big with a brand new HD Silverado and make no payments all summer. No payments all summer with your new Trax, Colorado truck, or new Traverse with the third row seating because your good credit deserves it. And this is Military Appreciation Month and our friends at All-Star love our military. In May, get a $1,000 military appreciation bonus on almost every Chevy model here, 1,000. And if you want a barely driven certified Chevy or the hottest pre-owned Chevys on the market, All-Star is spot on. Tahoes, Suburbans, even Trailblazers. And for all your fleet and commercial vehicle needs, express cargo passenger vans and all, they're here. That's right, at All-Star Chevy because they're a top-rated business elite dealer. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the Ready for Summer event going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. We're looking at an accident. May have some injuries here. It's got the right lane blocked. 40 eastbound between Winton Road and Abilene. Again, it's got traffic slow here in the eastbound lanes. Of course, during rush hour, traffic out here, the heaviest flow is in the westbound lanes here on I-40. Again, it's 40 east, pretty slow between Winton Road and Abilene as they clean up this accident. Don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Come to AMCO right now. Let them check it out. AMCO with 2 locations. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning! On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 9:04 the time. Our final hour today here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Monday, May 18th, 2026 edition. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Jay Ham with you, broadcasting live and local from the Family Leisure Studios. They got the Memorial Day sale going on right now at Family Leisure. Check it out at 2120 Winton Road, just north of I-40. Currently 77 already, though it feels like 84. Temperature expected to reach 89, so that means that humidity will take the feel-like temperature into the lower 90s. So here we go, folks, ready or not. Thunderstorms, though, approaching in the area, and it looks like tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there's all the possibility, maybe not all day things, all day affairs, but the rain and the thunderstorms are in the forecast. 55% chance tomorrow, then 95% Wednesday, 88% right now on Thursday, 95% on Friday before the weekend. Looks to be pretty nice. And then more rain next week. So it is what it is. It's also Monday. That means it's time to talk with the Tigers head baseball coach, Matt Reiser.
It's time to talk University of Memphis baseball with Tigers head coach Matt Reiser. Brought to you by Landers Nissan and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in South Haven. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. Here's Coach Reiser with Greg and Eli.
He is Matt Reiser, Tigers baseball coach, brought to you by Landers Nissan, Landers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Next week's Memorial Day, so this is it for us, although, of course, Matt may be making some other appearances as the summer goes along, but baseball continues for the Memphis Tigers, as for the first time in 3 years, they have qualified for the American Conference Tournament. First of all, Coach, good to see you, and congratulations.
I appreciate it. As always, gentlemen, appreciate you having me on, and I'll see. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, right? And I thought the guys did a really good job rallying around there, each other, and stayed the course, and obviously put us in a good position here and got the 5 seed here in the American Conference Tournament.
You won against East Carolina. You won against UTSA. They're the top 2 seeds in the conference. You won the series against both those. You lost the series in Charlotte, but it's not because you played poorly. Give them credit. They scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th of Game 3 to win that series. And, of course, as you would have it, you open up with Charlotte on Wednesday in Clearwater, and you are the 5 seed, as you mentioned. So 5, 6, 7, 8, those 2 games are playing for their lives that first day. You win, and then you move into the double elimination remainder of the tournament. If you lose, you come back to Memphis. So what was it like? What did you learn from the Charlotte series?
Yeah, I was just really happy that we took care of business there Friday night, or game 1 Thursday night, I guess, and did a good job. Really, even the game 2 kind of got away from us a little bit there late. We had one big inning and lost 8-2. I think we got 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th. So, we learned a few things. I'll see that we can continue to not play just great baseball, but if we play, again, to handle things and handle moments, 9 times out of 10, we're going to win the ball game. And even though we lost that game on Saturday, that was the one of the 10 that we lost when we were handling things, to be honest with you. So it was good. To be honest with you, if we're in a different position, we probably do things a little bit differently in that last game. It really had no implications on the seeding. We were going to be the 5 seed the way it worked out. Also we were always playing to win the game. We run Carson Fair out there for 2 innings, right, and a little bit more extended. He hadn't thrown in a week, so traditionally, we wouldn't do that. We'd bring him into the 8th, and so it was just good to see our guys. I thought they did a really good job all weekend of responding, and Charlotte's physical. Charlotte's got their shortstop back, the guy who Woody believes is the reason why they've had the season they've had, right, because they lost him in the second weekend of conference play. Felt like he was the difference maker. Felt like if he had been in the lineup all year long, they would probably have won the league. Or at the top of the league. Yeah,
he's that good, huh?
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, his name will be called on the MLB draft day, and so he's a really nice player and got back last week, of course, just right in time for the Tigers to come in town to Charlotte. So that's the way it works, and in time for the tournament. But I thought overall we played pretty well, and really just again pleased with the way we've handled things here. The back half of the way we finished it off. We didn't wait around till Saturday. We didn't scoreboard watch. We didn't do any of that stuff. We did a good job taking care of business, and now we're on to season 2 of the tournament.
You talked about it week 1 when you were here, that this was the goal, that getting to Clearwater and the conference tournament, that was a big goal of this year. So having done that, found a way there, your first conference tournament as the head coach here, just how rewarding is it to see, hey, we went out, we set a goal, and we accomplished that goal?
Yeah, 100%. Well, and this was the first goal, right? We the first of many goals, and that's what we talked about there on Thursday night after we had clinched and got in the tournament. Okay, man, mission number 1 done. On to mission number 2. How high can we get this thing going? We set a record for most American Conference wins ever in the history of the program. That was 13 wins. That ended up being the record for
Congratulations.
most wins. Yep. Highest seed we've been in over 15 years. How many years? I think it was 2012, 2013 was the last time that we had a team higher than 5th in the league. So, obviously a lot of good accomplishments, but still a lot left on the plate to go eat, right? And so that's what we had talked about all those goals and all those ambitions we talked about when things weren't going well, hey, man, they're still right in front of us. Same thing when they were going well here at the back half of the year. All those things are still on the table. Hey, now we're in the tournament time. And, I did a little I stepped away from the drinks a little bit, if you know what I mean, the beverages of choice. Early in the season, week one, we kind of got into it. And it's like, you know what, I'm not going to a dark place. And so, but I told our staff, hey, every time we kind of make this next round, right, when we clinch, I'll have one. So I had one little tie there on Thursday night. So, hey, now we're in the single elimination. Hey, if we win on Wednesday, I'll have a little toddy on Wednesday night, right, into the double elimination tournament. Each round we continue to grow, we'll go. So, but just, again, for us, I think we're in a really good place. Now we've gotten to this tournament, right? This was the first time in a long time when I became the head coach here that you had to qualify for the tournament. Back in years past, they just took everybody in the conference and kind of seeded it out as you finished up the year. So you look at, like Tulane the year before I got here, had 14 wins on the season, just kind of assessed everything to get ready for the tournament and wins the tournament with 14 wins. It's not really the best representation of our conference. So we fought hard for this new bracket to kind of lay it out. It is a tremendous bracket to get through when you're coming from the single elimination. We're going to have to win 5 games in 5 days. You can look at things and kind of go, man, that's a lot to do, man. We haven't played 5 games in a row and whatever, or go, hey, man, we got to just go win on Wednesday. That's simply mission number 1, right? So go take care of business there. We haven't decided on the starter yet. We talked a little bit that off the air. Also, we've got, all hands on deck. And so we've got some practice this morning. We've got some guys throwing some live ABs because to win a tournament, it will take somebody who hasn't been there all year long to step up and have some big moments for us.
From what you just said, it seems like you like the fact that everybody doesn't get a trophy, that 8 out of 10 make it and 2 go home.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and then you're rewarded for your body of work, right? When you look
in
at
the bracket,
yeah, exactly right. So you look at UTSA and East Carolina. Hey, man, they finished 1 and 2 co-champs. Hey, man, they're not playing until Friday, so they're going to sit back and wait and see what happens. They'll have some sunburns at the beach, hopefully from Monday to Thursday, right? As we're playing through the tournament and getting ready. But I thought I really enjoyed the way we've designed this because it kept guys playing all the way through to the very last pitch. Even ourselves, right, yesterday, trying to win that game against Charlotte to take that series to go into the conference tournament with our closer in the game, right, and just didn't throw off.
Do you like the fact that you are playing the team that you just played? Because you obviously have just seen their pictures, but that also means they've just seen your pictures as well. Like, does it matter at all that you get Charlotte right after playing them?
I can tell you my eyeballs really appreciate that we're playing Charlotte again because now I don't have to go back and watch a bunch of screen, a bunch of scout reports, all that kind of stuff, right? We just saw them. So the prep work is there. It's more like a 4-game set, right? So, I do personally. I think it's good. I think the way it played out, and that's what I told the guys post-game, not to go too much into detail, but in the post-game deal, hey, man, I said, this is kind of fate, right? Like, let them enjoy their day. It was senior day, heroic moment, whatever. I really thought Carson Fair pitched his way out of it, catch one off the end of the bat to lose the game. Hey, man, struck out their best hitter who was 4 for 4 on the day with the bases loaded, nobody out. And then gets their next best hitter out, the ground out on 1 pitch. And, hey, man, we've got everything formulated to win this thing. Hey, catch one and it happens. It's baseball, right? But now it keeps us hungry for that tournament, right? Now it's not like, hey, man, all right, we got the tournament, we got the Clearwater, let's go enjoy a beach day. It's like, hey, man, those suckers walked us off.
We got to be ready to play once we play.
100%. Hey, we owe them one a little bit. And you can see in their eyes, you can see in their heart, hey, man, these guys are prepared and ready to rock and roll for the tournament. So, does that mean we win the tournament? I don't know, maybe not. But what we will do, we'll go out and compete our butts off there on Wednesday and go from there.
If I'm not mistaken, Thursday, game 1, I think Maccabee at a home run early, maybe Harrington at a home run against their guy. Do you expect that guy to be on the hill Wednesday?
Sure. Yeah, why not? I would hope that we see that guy or the other guys. I'll be honest with you, whoever they throw up there, fine. And that's the thing. I think in years past, when you look at the league, there was kind of a guy that you really want to see. I really didn't want to see you Savage. If we made the tournament in East Carolina, we're the 8 seed. I think that's the last guy you want to see, right? There's. Don't get me wrong. Collectively as a whole, this league's really good. This is the best the league's been in 3 years, in my opinion, right? And I think we're a multiple bid league, maybe 2 or 3 bids. We'll see how it works out when it's all said and done. But there's not an arm that you just go, man. if we just don't do everything right and he don't screw up, man, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's some guys we're going to have to grind on, no doubt, right? There's some guys we're going to have to do a really good job game planning and have success, but, you just don't feel like you're going to be overmatched like a U Savage that's in the tournament from this year's point of view. And again, that's Norby, who's leading, top 5 in the country in strikeouts in one of the categories. So, again, for us, I think that's the good part about going to this is we're looking at this, and the top 3 teams, top 4 teams, right, in the league that all have the buys, we were 8-4 against, okay? So we had a lot of success, right? Had a lot of success with East Carolina, UTSA, swept Rice. We lost 2 out of 3 to UAB, got walked off on. So when you look at this thing holistically, we feel really good about our opportunity and our chances here in the tournament.
Yeah, do you look at it pretty much as like it is wide open amongst all of these teams that are there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's an advantage to UTSA and East Carolina not playing until Friday, right?
Yeah.
From a starting pitching standpoint, they've got to win 3 to win it all. We've got to win 5 to win it all. So, there's some of that. But, I kind of compared it yesterday. I said, we watched this college football playoff, right? And we watched these teams get buys in this college football playoff, and they're the one getting stomped after the, you can build the momentum in this. And so, hey, man, you win on Wednesday, you feel good about what you're doing. You win on Thursday, you really got that momentum going. Whoever's at the UTSA there, you'll get the bracket up. Hey, man, they've been sitting around for a little while, like I said, maybe with a few sunburns, and all of a sudden we come in with some momentum and we pop them too. So I really think this can work out and work to our advantage to where we can make a run in this tournament.
Where are the guys mentally?
I think they're in a great place. I think they're in a really good place. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected, they're laid back, but not too laid back, right? I think that's the part that we've continued to harp on this optimal speed limit, right, of 55. And so I think we've done a pretty good job of that. I think about Thursday when we came out, we hit the home runs, right, and we get the lead, and we can start feeling the juices flow a little bit. We're up 9-0 with a chance almost to run rule. Guy lays out, makes a play, to keep it from being a run rule game with the bases loaded. It made it 11-0, right? And all of a sudden we drop a ball up in the lights, and the guy falls here, and the guy falls there, and all of a sudden you look up and we score 3 runs. There's no panic in the dugout. I mean, it's like, hey, man, no, all right, cool, whatever. Like, we'll play another 3 innings. Who cares? Like, they enjoy being around each other. They enjoy playing the game. And I think that's important when you go into tournament time.
So when did the game even, after the first game you guys win on Thursday, were you automatically the 5 seed at that point? Because you have moved.
No, we could have moved. Yeah, there's some more movement we could have had. And now looking at it, now when you look back, because Rice ended up sweeping, we could actually swept the weekend and it would still have been the 5. Right, because the tiebreaker with UAB, the way it all worked out. So yes and no, right?
But at that time you didn't know.
At that time you didn't know because you didn't know what Rice was doing.
And also we're still fighting. That's like the beauty of this tournament is we're still fighting for the bye, right? For the 3 or 4 seed, because we knew we had the tiebreaker with Rice, but we need Tulane to take 1 or 2. We just knew we had a better weekend than Rice, right? And it was all said and done. So it kept us motivated, obviously, to keep going and keep rocking and rolling. And and even to again the last game 3. I mean, hey man, 14 wins is a big deal for our program. That's the most wins we've had in conference play since the days of Mark Little and him in '94. I think.
Jeez.
Really?
Oh yeah. So there's a lot of implications that was going into the weekend. So that's why you saw the fight. I think the guys were still hungry to say, hey, yeah, we've qualified for tournament. But coach, that was mission number 1. Right?
Yeah,
you said this from the get go. That was only mission number 1. We still got other things to accomplish, and we still want to leave our mark and our legacy here. And so I think that was really good to see, to tell you the state of the mind of the program where we're at.
Tigers Baseball Report with Coach Matt Reiser, brought to you by our friends at Landers Nissan in South Haven and Landers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, also in South Haven. Again, thank you to Jeff Field, the former Memphis Tiger, for his support once again every single year. He is always there for us and for this University of Memphis Tigers baseball team. All right, since this is going to be our last week with you, hopefully you move on, you win this conference tournament, you go on and have an NCAA appearance, and we'll talk to you, of course, down the road. But I'm just curious. You also got to start thinking about next year. Start thinking about recruiting, all that stuff. You guys, I thought, did an incredible job in identifying players in the portal and getting those players. Because when you look up and down the lineup, almost all those guys are contributing, some more than others. But, I mean, it's like Freddie Rodriguez, Javon Hernandez, like right Gupton. So kudos to you guys for being able to do that. But the most important thing is, well, first is identifying, but to be able to have the resources to be able to get those players.
Yep.
Where do things stand? How do you feel about the future moving on and about the support you're getting with Memphis Tigers baseball from the people in power?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a never revolving door, right? I mean, you're looking at universities across the country. I read a stat yesterday talking about Duke, how much money how many jobs they're cutting to save money. And you look at UNC Charlotte and what they're doing to cut money and cut programs and different stuff. There's people all across the country trying to find money to pay the players, and they ain't paying the baseball players, okay? So let's be honest with that, of what it is. The reality of it is, the basketball and the footballs of the world, there's a lot of money being thrown around right now. And so that keeps the revolving door kind of there, if that makes sense to you a little bit. That we got to continue to evaluate where we are, right, as a program and the resources that we have, and what might have been good 6 months ago might not be good, now, right? And how do we continue to try to stay in front of what is to come, right? We've got this new 5 for 5. It looks like it's going to come down and go down from the NCAA standpoint, where basically you get 5 years and 5 seasons, and there is no waiver, there is no COVID, there is no, hey man, this is 6 year, you went to D2 type of deal. Hey man, you get 5 to play 5. Okay, what would that look like us navigate moving forward? So I think there's a number of things that will continue to evolve as we go over the next couple years. So for us, when we talk about that and the investment administration is, hey, let's just kind of just do an assessment, right? Look at where we are right now currently and how do we get in front of the curve that's getting ready to happen. And so I think we have to be creative in that. And I think that's the neat part about our administration. Cooper was on the trip with us, our sport admin. Cooper Jones this past week. Saw Charlotte, saw what it looked like facility-wise. Like, man, this place is gorgeous. I said, yeah, it's really nice, right? Like we have a good facility, but when you compare it to other people in the conference and what that looks like, hey, but maybe Charlotte doesn't have as much NIL money that we do. I don't know where they stand. So again, I think that's the territory that we're in. We're in kind of uncharted waters of like, how deep is the deep end, right? What does that really look like? I can see is just darkness down there. But it is, right? I don't know what the abyss looks like. So again, for us, we can concern ourselves and worry with that, or just doing a simple assessment. Hey, where are we? Are we getting the right people in the program? Do we have the right players in the program? Do we have the right administration set in? Do we have the right staff in place, right? I think those are the important pieces, more importantly than overall just dollars. Hey, man, how many dollars do you have? That's not the important piece. There's plenty of people in our league that had some money, didn't do very well this year, okay? Are you getting the right people in place? And to answer your question, Greg, along the way, I feel like we have an administration, the right people in place to help us continue to move forward.
One of the changes has been, of course, with the roster limits and the difference in scholarships and all that stuff. What impact here early on are you seeing from that in baseball, or do we really even know for sure yet exactly how that will play out?
I think we're going to see that impact here in the next 2 years, right? Because we're at the 34-man roster, right? I say it with air quotes here, as you can't see that on the radio, but with the air quotes of the DSAs are still in place, right? Which is designated student athletes. So guys can still extend their roster. Mm-hmm. And now I'll be honest with you, there's a pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to use, of injuries that are going through college baseball, right? I just told you about Woody and how bad he felt about losing his shortstop. That was one player, right? I mean, there's teams that are having, like East Carolina, let's not even get to there, what they've lost, right? They've lost 3 pitchers on the mound. They've lost 2 position players or 3 position players. They've lost 6 or 7 different guys that are really impactful guys, still winning the league, right? And then I get it's East Carolina, but still to be able to do that. So for us, I think the real impact's coming here in the next couple of years from the roster limitation standpoint, because now if you start having 7 or 8 injuries, you're looking up just trying to fulfill a team. And all of a sudden people go, man, how did that happen so overnight? Like, because all you see is a logo and a score. You don't know who's actually in the box score. You don't get the injury report up to date. You're not reading all those things and how impactful those things can be on a program and how impactful one person can be on the program. I get it. So you go take these money and this resource and you invest in this one guy to be your Friday night guy. God forbid something happened. All of a sudden you're looking up going, well, I just spent 3 spots on one because we knew the guy, but we couldn't foresee the future.
It's all gamble.
It is. It's a lot of gambling. So that's why I think it's, again, so important that collectively you're getting the right people in place in the program, whether it's, again, your coaches, your players, your administration that understand that holistically and can be a little bit more subjective to it than they need to be.
All right, your pitcher and hitter of the week.
Yeah, hitter of the week, man, I thought was James Smith. I thought he had a really, really good week for us. And I could think of a few big swings from obviously Brady McAbee and Trey Cassidy. I thought that duo was really good for us, man, this week. We had some guys. We had Freddie Rodriguez. He broke the stolen base record.
Yes, he
right?
did.
He's officially the Freddie the Jet Rodriguez, right? He got the stolen base record there at Middle Tennessee this past week. So congratulations to him. KK Chalmers actually going to come in town and present him with the bag.
Very nice.
Yeah, so we got that at 1:00. o'clock. So that's going to be pretty cool, man, to see KK, obviously pass the baton down to Freddie. But, James Smith will be the hit of the week. Pitcher of the week, there's a number of guys, obviously, that threw well. I thought David Case threw really, really well there in Game 2. I thought Logan Rushing was fantastic there on Sunday for us. He came in and threw 4 innings for us as well. But when it's all said and done, the guy that helped us clinch it, who had struggled the last couple of weeks, it was great to see him back to his normal self. Will Howell will be my pitcher of the week.
Very nice. Well, Coach, it's been great. It always is. It was great last year. It's been super this year. And, this year, at least we're talking about a tournament that you're going to be playing in. So we want to wish you nothing but the best. You always have a spot here with our show on this station. So we look forward to talking to you here in the future. But go get them down in Clearwater.
Awesome. Greg, Eli, appreciate all of it, man. Jeff, if you're listening, man, we really appreciate you and this opportunity to do this and continue to spread the word of the good Memphis baseball and the University of Memphis.
Well said. That's Matt Reiser, Tigers baseball coach. Again, brought to you by Landers Nissan, Landers, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Folks, Fleet Feet, that's the place to go to get all your running gear. You want to make sure you get shoes that are just right for you. Go see them at either one of their 2 locations. In East Memphis, they're in the Laurelwood Shopping Center. In Collierville, they're at Poplar, Houston Levy, next door to the Hueys there, that shopping center. You go in, they take a look at the way you run, the way you walk, and they'll get you fitted with shoes that are just right for you, plus all your other gear, everything else you need. You can also get involved in their group runs and things they do. Of course, they sponsor a lot of races around town as well. You can get involved with all of it. It's all about the runners, all about the running community at Fleet Feet.
You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let Bryant Dacus and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon. Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Give your business the edge it deserves with an end-to-end AI solution built for trades. Look, in this business, you're either growing or you're left behind. The companies winning right now, they're not guessing, they're using data, automation, and systems that actually scale. Service Titan's AI connects and automates your workflow so you can focus on growing revenue and running smarter and staying ahead of your competition. Stop operating. Start automating. Service Titan. AI for the trades. Visit servicetitan.ai.
Cleanliness is next to impossible unless you call High-Low Commercial Services. For 15 years, High-Low's dedicated team has been cleaning offices throughout the Mid-South. High-Low's janitorial services are customized to your business. Clean once, quarterly, or ongoing, and get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. High-Low Commercial Services, the biggest and the best in the Mid-South. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That's MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:29 is the time. I don't understand all this uproar about the Tennessee Titans and their hiring of Ramon Foster for their analyst job on their radio broadcasts. I don't know if you guys have followed this over the weekend, but Dave McGinnis, who passed away, was the analyst. Taylor Zarzer, is that how you pronounce his name? Play-by-play guy?
Play-by-play guy, yep.
So they hire Foster. Foster, long-time offensive lineman for the Steelers. Very, very good player. But he went to the University of Tennessee. He's doing radio in Nashville. I believe he may have been their sideline reporter at one time, and he's from Ripley, Tennessee. But he did not play for the Titans. So people are losing their minds because there were a lot of players who wanted the job, from Keith Bullock to Sanders, the wide receiver. Trying to think who else was. They brought up other. Oh, they brought up Jason McCourty. They brought up Brad Hopkins. They brought up Taylor Lewan, who of course is on with Bussin' with the Boys. He's pretty national now, so I don't know if he would have the time to do that. But the point was that people were like, no, you have to be a former Titan. And I know in the past they had Frank Wycheck, who passed, and McGinnis was an assistant at one point with the Titans, but was the Arizona Cardinals head coach. I don't get it. I mean, if the guy is that good, that's why they hired him. I don't think they hired him because he was bad. I guess the assumption is that Foster is going to be really good at what he does.
I did not. I've not seen anything about it, know anything about it. But I mean, I don't think you have to necessarily have played for that team to be able to be the analyst for that team.
Yeah, Titans reporter Paul Kaharski, who I think's been on with us before, he kind of went viral. He said the Titans just greeted all of their big-time alumni with a big slap across the face. Really? Okay. That's one man's opinion, but to me, it's no. You give the person who you feel is best for the job. And he still has connections to the team, the organization, obviously the state, the University of Tennessee, Ripley. I mean, the whole thing. It's not like they just pluck some dude from like Spain or something to come on the broadcast. By the way, tomorrow, the vote is expected for the 2030 Super Bowl, I believe, which Nashville is expected to be awarded the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the guy's been, if you're hiring somebody who has been covering the Titans for years, I don't think that it matters whether he played for the team or not.
I agree.
I don't know why that would really matter one way or another. I mean, I could see like some people that don't get the job if you are a former Titan, like, and you wanted the job and you don't get it, or you might be mad just because you didn't get the job. But I don't see where everybody has to try and act like the Titans have done something wrong.
Exactly. Pete Thamel reporting that at the Big Ten meetings, the league is amplifying its off-season voice and is unified on pushing for a 24-team college football playoff. I assume that's, again, from the coaches and from the ADs. But once again, as we talked about last week, you have the ACC united, you have the Big Ten united, you have the Big 12 united, you even have the SEC united with the exception of their commissioner, Greg Sankey. But what you don't have is ESPN wanting to expand the playoff beyond 16 because now you would have to involve Fox, and they are rivals. And you don't want Fox getting a piece of the big pie. You want that pie all to yourself. But the Big Ten, again, the meeting's going on. The push is for 24 teams. I think a lot of people on the outside of the college football family that are not coaches or even players or ADs don't like 24. A lot of the media have come out and have voiced their opinion. They don't like 24. I don't know. I think there's another impasse approaching when it comes to that, because there already was. That's why we have a 12-teamer again this year. And there's nothing wrong with the 12-teamer. But the Sankey wall with the support of ESPN is going to be a tough one to break down.
Well, that's the SEC and ESPN are very, very powerful. So is the Big Ten. And I would have. It feels like at some point it will get to 24. It's just what has to be given in order for that to happen for Greg Sankey and the SEC to come aboard with that 24 team. And I'm sure there's something out there they may want or whatever that they could eventually get. But it's hard to think that would be, if with all of the other conferences on board with the 24, I know SEC has power. I know ESPN has a lot of power. But if everybody else is wanting one thing, I feel like it's at some point we're going to get there.
I would think so. As much power as the one guy has, I would still think that all the other people wanting it one way would prevail. But who knows? On3 Sports has put together their top 10 list of the top 10 returning players in college football in 2026. Do you have a guess as to who number one is? And it's not Arch Manning.
Dante Moore.
Dante Moore is number 8. You got a guess, J-Ham?
Jeremiah Smith.
You are correct. Jeremiah Smith, who some thought he was the best player last year.
Where would Malachi Tony fit on there?
Malachi Tony, number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, another great player.
Cam Coleman.
Cam Coleman is number 10. Now with Texas. So you have 3 receivers. Let me double check. You have 3 receivers. Jeremiah Smith 1, Malachi Tony 3, and Cam Coleman 10. And they are showstoppers. Absolutely showstoppers. You have 1 running back, Ahmad Hardy from Missouri, who just got shot. And he's on the rehab. He's hopefully, I haven't heard word one about whether or not he's going to be ready for camp and be able to play. I haven't heard, because Eli Drinkwitz has not said that, but he said that he's back in Columbia and rehabbing, I guess at a local hospital, but also, I guess, using the Missouri facilities. I don't know all the details, but Hardy's the only running back on this top 10 list. 2 quarterbacks. Arch Manning is 7 from Texas. So Texas has 2 of the top. Texas actually has 3 of the top 10. I'll get to the other guy in a second. And then Dante Moore. The other guy is Colin Simmons, the edge rusher from Texas. Yeah, there's still some edge rushers around in college football after it seemed like every one of them was drafted last month. So number 1, Jeremiah Smith. Number 2 is Leonard Moore, the cornerback from Notre Dame. Tony Simmons. Number 5, another edge, Dylan Stewart from South Carolina. Then Carter Smith, offensive tackle from Indiana. Then you got Arch Manning, Dante Moore, Ahmad Hardy, and Cam Coleman. Here's your top 10. This is On3 Sports. Returning players in college football this year.
Jeremiah Smith
he's incredible.
The dude's. It'll be interesting to see if he ends up being like how the draft plays out next year, because you've got a guy like that who is, like, everybody believes is an elite talent at wide receiver, but you do have some quarterbacks who are looked at highly, but then you also got a couple of those edge rushers who are absolute monsters. You've got a cornerback who's awesome. And these are all positions that the NFL now looks at as very important positions. And so you've got you've kind of got 1 or 2 of those at every position that they could be looking at next year at the top of the draft, which could cause it to be a very interesting thing depending on what the order is at the top of that draft.
And then has nothing to do with the draft next year. Well, it could be if somehow he is ruled eligible to play this year, but most people believe that Brendan Sorsby will be ruled ineligible, and therefore he would be available this summer in the supplementary draft. And if you missed this over the weekend, the representatives for Sorsby have asked the NCAA to expedite their decision, because the supplemental draft would be, mid-July? Somewhere in July, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's like a set time for it. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be obviously at some point in there before teams are starting to go to camp and everything else, I would assume.
A couple of other notes before we take our next break. The inaugural Memphis Football Club game or match took place over the weekend down in Louisiana. The LA Crew and Memphis FC loses their first ever match, 1-0. For those who don't know about this soccer program, we had Kerry Talley on to talk about it several weeks ago. This is not a professional league. This is an amateur league, but really top tier local and regional amateurs that play. And it looks like they're doing a really nice job in marketing this team. There's a lot of things going on, giveaways and all that. You can go to their website, but they'll be playing their first home match coming up here, I guess in the next few days, where they'll play the LA Crew again. And then I saw this earlier today. Our buddy Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal, who did his little grab bag type thing where people ask him questions. He puts it together and posts the question and then his answer. And people were talking about Maxime Logie, who Memphis acquired at the end of last week, the kid from Florida Atlantic who had committed to North Carolina, but then there was a transcript snafu, ends up still available, and Memphis grabs him. Didn't have big numbers at Florida Atlantic, but seemed like when he played, he produced. When he got his minutes, he produced. He only played 11 minutes per game. I don't know what the reason was that he wasn't playing more. From the video I've seen, looks very athletic. But the question somebody asked was, on a scale of Aaron Bradshaw to Dane Danger, where does Maxime Logie rank as a big man? And that puts kind of Jason on a spot, in a tough spot, because it's two choices. But he said he's more of a Dane Danger guy, more of a guy who's more athletic, can run the court, get out there on fast breaks and finish, where we didn't see that from Bradshaw. Bradshaw was a guy who would step out and try to shoot threes, not real successfully, and that would be inside the paint for the most part. But if he was anything near Dane Danger, well, then the Memphis Tigers got a fine in Maxime Logie. Right now, the only question is whether or not they will get the signature from Fred Smith. That continues to be a wait and see. Fred Smith's commitment, but again, according to a number of different stories out there, he has not signed yet. And time, certainly, I'm sure he's on the clock as far as that's concerned. And Munns in his story reported, this is the first time I've seen this out publicly, which is something I already knew. That is, it is nobody would be surprised with this, a money issue. What's interesting is you work out a deal with a player in this day and age of NIL and agree to the financial commitment to that player. And then that player holds out later and wants more money. Again, I don't understand that once you've negotiated and the player commits, why can't they get that signature at that point? So portal's already open. Is there a problem with the calendar that I'm missing here? I don't get it. You leave them too much wiggle room if you don't sign them right away.
I mean, they might be saying like their agent may very well, we still want to know what else is out there.
Again, but then that's not a solid commitment to me. It's hey, I'm committing, but I'm going to continue to look.
That's why, I mean, commitments, just a commitment is never truly solid. You wait till they sign.
Yeah, so that's a wait and see right now with Fred Smith. And then again, whether or not, now if Penny loses Fred Smith, then he would have 2 scholarships available, and I'm sure he'd go try to fill one of them. The other one, he continues to keep in his back pocket for an emergency, unless another big walks through the door. But I think they're happy with Logie, although he's 6'9", and again, they have the kid from North Alabama who's 6'9", but very good rebounder. So they got a rebounder, more of a guy who can run the court, and the Logie, they feel a little bit better about their bigs. But as far as playing a team that has those big mountains, like we saw in the NCAA tournament with the Michigans of the world, Purdue's are always like that. Memphis is going to run into a problem when they play those teams, and they're going to play some of those teams early on the non-conference portion of their schedule with that schedule they have put together. All right, we'll take a time out. Before we do so, I want to tell you about Corky's Ribs and Barbecue for lunch or for dinner. It's always a good time to grab some delicious slow-smoked barbecue from Corky's. And Corky's will deliver. Anywhere in the country you want to ship, they will ship those ribs for you, that delicious barbecue. They have all types of goodies, including an award-winning catfish plate, tamales, great salads as well. But they're experts in barbecue, and they've been cooking it up for 40-plus years. If you got an event coming up, you want to cater, let Corky's cater it for you, starting you out as low as $7.99 per person. Now, I mentioned lunch or dinner. If you want them to deliver your Corky's barbecue, they'll do that. Set price, local delivery, $3.99. You can't beat it. 4 locations if you want to head out there for lunch or dinner. Poplar Avenue in Memphis. That's in East Memphis. Poplar Avenue in Collierville. Germantown Parkway in Cordova. And Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. Open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. We'll get back to the NBA, which we started our show with early today at 7 o'clock. We'll get back to it for our final segment when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, if you've been in a car accident, money is on the line. Medical bills, lost pay, your future. NST fights for this city and has for over 35 years, winning big for Memphis families. The call is free, no fee unless we win. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Landers Ford in Collierville, #1 in the Mid-South. New 2025 Ford F-150. Employee pricing for everyone, plus no down payment. Yes, it's the Memorial Day no-pay event. We're celebrating America 250 with employee pricing for everyone on hundreds of new F-150s, plus no down payment. Trade values are strong for now. Get top dollar before values drop. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords in the Mid-South. The price you see is the price you pay. No hidden addendums. That's the Landers Ford difference. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Don't wait. New F-150s with employee pricing for all, plus no down payment. The best sell fast. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you pay too much.
As reported on Ford's 2025 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market. Employee pricing is a Ford A plan pricing program. U.S. residents only. Prior purchases not eligible. Other exclusions may apply. See dealer for complete details. Price plus tax title license. Offer includes $6.95 processing fee with approved credit through Ford Credit. Offer ends 6/1/26.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. And you can apply in minutes and get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So yesterday, as we've talked about, and you guys know by now, Cleveland destroyed Detroit in Detroit for Game 7 of their playoff series. They won by 31, and now the Cavaliers move on to play the Knicks. It's just astonishing to me that a team that won Game 6 in Cleveland can come back in Game 7 and play as poorly as they did, but they did. They shot 35%. After the game, J.B. Bickerstaff, who I love, former Grizzlies head coach, said, sure, it's disappointing, but the season is not a disappointment. Yeah, the game and the performance, but the season is not a disappointment. Even though they were the number one seed, as congested as it was, I agree. Where they were a couple of years ago, right, J.M.?
Right. They were a 14-win team a few years ago. They tripled that. Then they go from 14 to 44 to 60. It's a hell of a jump.
Yes.
And they did it, like I mentioned, with Tobias Harris as your starting power forward, playing next to an all-star in Jalen Duren. Cade broke out. They did that they basically overachieved. Just from what we saw personnel-wise, what they lacked and what they going into the playoffs. I can't say it's a bad season. They had a great run. It ended disappointing,
right.
Yes, but
overall,
they have
from
stuff to build on
yeah.
from that.
What do you think, Eli?
I don't think it's disappointing at all. I don't think it's
right.
I mean, in the NBA, it takes some playoff years to figure out playoff basketball like that. You got to go through it. That's the fact that they were able to come back and beat Orlando. If they had gotten knocked off by Orlando, and but getting another round, going 7 games in a second round, it's just building up that scar tissue or whatever you want to call it. You got to get playoff experience, and to get that, I didn't have high expectations for them really coming into the postseason. I didn't expect them in any way to win the East, even with home court advantage. So no, I think it was a fantastic year, and again, it's a big learning experience, and not only for the players to go through it, but also the front office to see we need more. We need Cade. We got to get Cade some help, because this isn't enough right now to compete at the level to try and win championships.
Taking everything into account, injuries, expectations, performance, all of it, and minus the crap teams at the bottom, okay? Who really was disappointing this year? Disappointing. I mean, Philadelphia beat Boston in a best-of-7. Boston overachieved, let's be honest. You could be disappointed they didn't get farther once Tatum came back, but they're not disappointed. I can think of one right off the top of my head, and you tell me if you agree or disagree. I think Denver was a disappointment. I think Denver should have been a little better, should have had a better run. I thought they should have beaten Minnesota. I mean, they went out and they got Cam Johnson. They had Murray and Jokic in the playoff run, and they lost in 6 games. But I think Denver would fall into that category. Who do you guys look at and go, if the Knicks lose the series to Cleveland, do you look at the Knicks as a disappointment?
Yeah, I would, because I picked them to go to the finals.
See, I think
at this point, as I said, once Boston went out, the Knicks have to win the East now.
See, I think that's the one. Yeah, that's the one I'd put as a disappointment if they don't win the East. Winning it all, though, wouldn't be a disappointment. Losing to Oklahoma City or maybe even San Antonio. But Denver's one I go, that's a disappointment. Is there any that jump out to you?
Houston, to me, is the disappointment.
But injuries. But they had some key injuries.
I would go with Houston, not just the injury there, but they still
made the move for Durant.
And that's the one I was looking at, too. But then I looked, you lost your point guard right off the bat.
I guess I didn't like their mentality and attitude that they showed throughout after losing their point guard throughout.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But with Denver,
put Houston there.
With Denver, I looked at it more as we go back to the salary cap here.
Yeah,
that was just
hamstring what they can do.
Yeah, but that team right there had enough, didn't they?
But they ended up third in the West behind Oklahoma City and San Antonio, who are just the 2 best teams in the league.
But losing to Minnesota, I just thought their performance in the playoff series against Minnesota was disappointing.
But yeah, they got to outperform that.
That's where I would put them.
The thing we had talked about as a possibility is happening. The New Orleans Pelicans are hiring Jamal Mosley. So, talked about the fact that at the end there was a lot of reporting that for whatever reason the New Orleans people, relationship-wise, like Jamal Mosley if he did end up out at Orlando, and it does happen where Shams is reporting that he will be the new head coach of the Pelicans.
It's amazing how that stuff gets out so early and ends up being true. A lot of that ends up being, especially with the NBA, that information gets out and it's true. Not the information today that Shams reporting, but the information months ago. I remember you saying that on the program, Eli, about that you had heard Mosley is the guy New Orleans wants. It was 3 months ago. So somebody had said right away that that's the guy we want.
I don't know who it is, but I think there's a past relationship with somebody from the front office. They're like they just there's a past relationship, and so
yeah. But were they putting 2 and 2 together, or were they told, no, this is the guy we're going after? And why would you say that? Why would you tell anybody?
I heard about it as a rumor around the same time Eli did, and it's kind of like it was almost expected by some, not connected to the organization, but I guess affiliated with them.
And it felt like maybe with the way they lost, that maybe that would turn the Pelicans off because it's a little harder sell after they had the lead and blew it. But obviously they didn't care.
Okay, so who has openings right now? Orlando still has an opening, right? And we're thinking maybe Billy Donovan, maybe, but it's taking a while right now. Portland has an opening, right?
Portland has an opening. It might be open for a while.
Sacramento's staying with Christie, right? Chicago is an opening.
Chicago has an opening.
And is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, so 3 more openings. Tonight.
And some of these are waiting. I'm sure there's some that have been waiting for assistants that are with some of these teams, stuff like that to interview and, of the teams that are still playing, all that type of stuff. So we'll see how quickly those things get filled. But yeah, I don't, because the Portland, they said I know Stotts is one of their guys that they're looking at.
He was just.
And who that was? There was somebody else.
Stotts was just let go, right? Stotts and Jerry Stackhouse were let go by who?
By Golden State.
By Golden State. So he's available right now.
Who was the other? There were 2 other. Somebody reported something about Portland. I know Stotts, and I think there were 2 other guys listed, but I don't remember who the other 2 guys were listed.
Probably Adelman's kid.
Again, because they're not paying anything, so they're hiring assistants or guys out of work because the Pelicans new owner doesn't want to pay anything.
Owner's like, we're carpooling the games.
You've got to get whatever you can get at a very low price for an NBA head coach.
Spurs Thunder tonight, Oklahoma City, 6.5-point favorite in game number 1. And then tomorrow night, the Cavs and the Knicks get going from the world's most famous arena where all the stars will be. The Knicks, a 7.5-point favorite over Cleveland in game number 1 of that series, again, which begins tomorrow. Once again, tomorrow, we will have an abbreviated show from 7 until 9. And then we'll hand things off to the Ole Miss Radio Network and play-by-play announcer, our friend David Kellum, as the Rebels will begin the SEC baseball tournament. A 9:30 start, but a 9 o'clock pregame right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Our thanks to Matt Reiser for joining us on the program today. Connor O'Gara joins us tomorrow. Mickey Barker also will move his segment up to 8:05. And, of course, we got Humdinger's Trivia as well. We got some other fun things planned for you this week. Should be a lot of fun here on the program. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy, for Jay Ham, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Monday, everybody.